If you wanna save me, if you wanna save me, if you wanna save me, yeah. If you wanna save me, yeah. If you wanna save me, I think I should better run, because that's the end before it began. If you wanna, if you wanna, if you wanna save me, I should better.
Really? He puts it in 0 seconds remaining!
He seems to be fighting hard for it.
Oh my goodness! Rudy, what is this?
Doesn't get the touch he's looking for. Kato, he's got the oh, he gets the flick and he gets it through. He's gonna get the shot. He's gonna put it in. Back to back. On the backward, can he find the touch? He's gonna put the shot on the net.
High off the backboard here. Opportunity. Here comes the shot.
Hold on. Surely this kid. Oh my lord.
Go with the shot. It's gonna go in.
Oh, Palpatine on the goal line. He did
Nearly over.
sweep. It comes through. The Venom, the improbable, the impossible, the 4-time champions. Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League as we are here for the first day of the grand finals. I'm excited to be here. I'm Rocker Man, Nemesis director and host for tonight's pre-show. Happy to be joined by a couple of lovely young fellas in the booth. First, we got our boy Colson, caster, and the Challenger League's top prospect. I don't know if that's a pun intended. Are you gonna be the top prospect in Challenger League, or what's going on there, Colson?
I thought it was funny throwing prospect in with Challenger, but I signed up last week after
love
this
it.
is my first season casting, so I'm still getting familiar with everyone, still new faces for me to meet. But I have signed up and I'll end up being in Challenger League. So I'm actually pretty excited to watch this Challenger matchup coming up between Griffins and Venom, because those guys will end up being my competition next season. So I'm excited to see how that one goes in particular. And it's just been fun watching all season, watching all that stuff unfold. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, it has been a fun season. It's been good having you in the booth for sure. And another guy it's been good having in the booth. We got Cog, 2-time All-Star, Firestorm AGM. Cog, how are you doing tonight?
Not too bad, Rocker. Good to be on the pre-show tonight. Glad I could finally get the camera up and running, and glad that we could talk about all these grand finals nights, because obviously this is the most important night of season 13, so it should be fun.
Yeah, it should definitely be fun. A very important night, and if it's an important night, you know who we got to get in the booth. We got to get Jaegers himself, season 4 champion, MVP, back in the booth. Jaegers, how you doing?
I'm just happy to be here, Austin. I'm excited to watch some Rocket League.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited as well. I know everyone's ready to go, roaring and, excited. We got a lot to break down. So for tonight, folks, we're going to go on the pre-show here. We're going to break down every single matchup. We're going to start with Titan and work our way down all the way to Novice. We're going to preview the matches, give you guys everything you need to know about these matches here for season 13. So we're going to kick things off in the Titan League, where we have Phoenix taking on Nebula. And Cog, I'll throw it back to you here as we'll talk a little about these two teams. What can you tell us about Phoenix and how they got here?
Phoenix has had a little bit of a rocky start to the beginning of the season. They started off with a completely different roster than what they do have now, but nonetheless, they ended 12-6 in the regular season, which is good enough for the second seed in the playoffs for the Titan League, which is also first in the Eastern Conference. They were one of 4 expansion teams. See, in the Titan League this season, we had an expansion draft. We had 12 teams to start, and then we had we had so many signups that we had more people, and so we had 4 different teams sign in, so we had a little bit of an expansion draft. So they were one of those teams that kind of had a limited player pool compared to the other 12 teams, but that didn't stop them from making it here to this grand finals with Nezetic, who, I'm sorry, I might have mispronounced that, but he was signed in early November, and then they traded for Dimitri, who is coming in from Gravity, and Chef from Vengaza. And so that makes up their core three, and that they've been a great solid three from the Central Division. And both of these guys are from the Central Division, so this is going to be a rematch for the Central Division title.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be an exciting show rematch for sure. I love a little rivalry between the divisions, and I gotta give a couple quick shout outs. Gotta go off track just a little bit. A couple quick shout outs to Z Warden with the sub, Mealy coming back for 17 months, and also Grebsy coming back for 19 months. Much love to all of you guys for supporting the stream as always. And yeah, let's continue on. Jaegers, what can you tell us about their opponents in Nebula?
Yeah, their opponents Nebula, they went 11-7 in the regular season, good enough for the 5th seed. Third seed in the Eastern Conference, only behind Blizzard and Phoenix. They had traded for Tashega before match day 1. So not really a midseason trade, but they got their roster before it started. They signed Jazzler and traded for Zinvez, who has a championship pedigree himself. Last time he won a chip was in, I believe, season 7 with the tail end of the Blizzard three-peat with Mad Max and Toxic. So he knows how to get it done.
Yeah, he most certainly knows how to get it done. He's been, like you mentioned, he's been around so many times. I mean, that guy might have the most championships appearances in Nemesis history. I mean, he's up there. He's got 4 of them, I believe, that he's appeared in. So maybe not the most, but yeah, he's pretty dang close there for sure here. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. Colson, what can you tell us about how these two teams got here through the postseason?
So Phoenix, they actually started out and they beat the Spartans in the quarterfinals. The Spartans were the number 7 seed, and they had a 4-1 win over them. And then they duplicated that scoreline against the Dragons, who were the number 3 seed in the semifinals, also taking a 4-1 win. So they haven't had to work too hard to get to the spot they're at. They have taken each of their series in 5 games, so they have been on a tear through this postseason. And then on the other side, Nebula had a 4-3 win over the number 4 seed Blizzard in the quarterfinals, and then a 4-2 win over the Grand Masters, who were the number 1 seed in the semifinals. Sorry to Ventus. He's one of my buddies. He was on that team who got beat. But Nebula's had a little bit tougher of a run to get there, but I think that's why they're such a strong team going into this.
Yeah, very fair assessment there. I'd have to agree here for sure. And Cog, I'll throw it back to you for a little bit of a match preview.
Yeah, no. So you guys are going to be able to find this game on at Wednesday at 10 o'clock. I believe it's going to be our last game of the night. Don't quote me on that, but it should be at 10 o'clock on Wednesday, assuming there's no game sevens, of course. Both these teams have gone head to head twice this season. Obviously, they're in the Central Division and they are in the same division, so they get to play twice. In the first matchup, Phoenix took it when both of their rosters were a little shaky. I'm not sure if both the rosters were completely, linked up and whatnot. But in their previous matchup on match day 18, it was Nebula who ended up upsetting Phoenix, and obviously that didn't have much to do in the overall scheme of things. But Nebula and Phoenix both able to make it here. And the Central Division has proven to be the hardest division in Titan League this season, with both of these two teams coming at it in the grand finals.
Yeah, we got some big foes going at it here in the Central Division rematch for the grand finals. Yeah, it is going to be our final match of season 13, like Cog mentioned, Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. So you guys are going to want to make sure you stick around come Wednesday and get ready for that one there for sure. So yeah, let's throw it around. Let's throw it around the horn now. It's a fun time here. We get to make our predictions of who we think is going to take the championship there in the Titan League. So Colson, I'm going to kick it off with you here. Who do you got taking this one and bringing home the Titan League season 13 championship?
I kind of alluded to it in the schedule that these guys had to get here, and I think I'm gonna have to give it to Nebula because they did take down the Grandmasters team. I think they take it 4-2. I know Phoenix has had it kind of, I don't want to say easy because they deserved their 4-1 wins, but Nebula's really had to grind it out to get to this point. Which is why I think that they will continue to grind it out. They know they're up against it, so they're going to take it 4-2. I think I'm giving it to them.
Alrighty. Fair enough. Cog, who do you got in this one?
Although I think it's a respectable take, Colson, I'm going to have to give it to Phoenix. I think Phoenix is going to be able to take against Nebula in 7. Nebula's coming off a crazy good run in the playoffs. They were able to take down the Grandmasters, who were the number 1 seed, and they looked almost unbeatable in the regular season. Granted, they had a couple losses. Nebula was able to hand it to them. But I'm going to give it to Phoenix in 7. I really do think that Dimitri and Chef are going to be able to put on a show for us.
Yeah, those two are a dynamic duo. That's a very fair prediction there. Jaegers, what do you think? Who you agreeing with here? We got two split predictions. Who are you going with?
It's a tough one, Austin. You know, I think it's gonna come down to the wire. Game 7, Titan League, always super fun. Great way to cap off the season. I have Phoenix taking this 4-3 over Nebula. I think it'd be a great story for an expansion roster to win it all, and I think Phoenix has what it takes to get it done.
Yeah, the expansion roster has most certainly impressed there. A big shout out to Crip for getting them this far, and yeah, we'll see if they can pull it off here. You guys can see the postseason stats and a little bit of the run on the screen right now on how these two teams have performed in their playoff and postseason matches there. And yeah, I guess it's time for me to make my prediction. I am going to be on Coulson's side on this one. I'm taking Nebula here in Game 7. I think this is going to be an absolutely insane matchup. I think we've got a lot of great players on the field. You know, Zinvez, Denzi, Teshega. I mean, that was a dangerous roster. And then Dimitri and Chef, that dynamic duo has been crazy along with Nizitic. So I really think it's going to be super close. I think it could go either way, but I'm going to lean towards Nebula here for my prediction for the grand finals. But I think it's gonna be an exciting one. That one, reminder, is Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. We have 3 grand finals set for Wednesday. This will be our very last one on Wednesday. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that one, and we'll continue things along here as we head into the rival league now. Where we have the Grave Lords taking on the Pineapples. Another great one slated for everyone here. So Jaegers, why don't you get us started with the team that everyone knows about, but you can inform a little more here. We got the big old Grave Lords.
The Grave Lords are having a fantastic season, Austin. Not just making the grand finals, but going 18-0 in the regular season. Some teams, went 18-0. Didn't make it to the grand finals, lost round 1. Other teams, they make it to the end. But Grave Lords have a chance to be one of the few teams that actually complete off the perfect season. They only dropped 15 games in 18 series, which is actually absolutely ridiculous. And their team was completely drafted. They didn't retain anybody. They just built through the draft, and so far, I think it's working out for him, Austin.
I can't argue against that. I think it is. I think it is working out for them there. 20 straight wins there this season, leading them to the grand finals. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they face off against this Pineapples team, Cog, that's coming in hot as well.
Yeah, this Pineapples team is no slouch. This was probably the preseason favorite coming in when everyone was 0-0 and all was talked about. I do believe that this Flashy and Flip duo was definitely one of the things to watch. And this Pineapples team was 15-3 in the regular season, which is good enough for the second seed, right behind the Grave Lords, who obviously 18-0. It's hard to compete with that, but nonetheless, they only dropped 21 games in 18 series, so only 6 games more than what the Grave Lords did. So neither of these teams really like to drop games when it comes to the regular season. And obviously the postseason we'll get to here in a minute. But the big thing about this Pineapples roster is that they decided they needed to make a change during the middle of the season. And they ended up acquiring Doge and Hydro RL in the hopes to push this duo of Flashy and Flip to the next level and got them to this grand finals. I think Doge was a great addition to this Flashy and Flip team. And overall, that's kind of why they are 15-3. They had a little bit of a rough patch with the roster to begin, but they've had a great end of the season, and that's why they're in this grand finals.
Yeah, most certainly. I agree. That was a big trade, and Doge, we saw him step up multiple times. Coulson, especially in the postseason, as these two teams have pushed themselves all the way to the grand finals.
Absolutely. The Grave Lords coming with a 4-1 win over Distortion, which was the number 8 seed. Then 4-2 over Whiteout, which was the number 5 seed. The Pineapples in their first series went 4-0. Of course, they didn't want to drop a game in that one over Lightspeed, who was the number 7 seed, and then had a 4-3 win over the Bearcats, who were the number 6 seed.
Yeah, and both those matches, that Whiteout series especially, and that Bearcat series, were absolute bangers. Just watching those in the rival league, yeah, that Game 7 win over the Bearcats, and then that Whiteout series, it got pretty close there for the Grave Lords, but they were able to squeak it out here. And yeah, bring us to this grand final showdown, Cog, happening on Wednesday.
I would love to, yes. As you said, it's on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. You can find this one just before the Titan matchup that we just talked about. You're going to find an undefeated Grave Lords team that are looking to take on, like I said before, what is the preseason favorite in the Pineapples with this flashy and flip team. Both these teams have had some of the lowest game losses we've seen in Nemesis seasons, especially in the rival league. You're just below that Titan league. This is a super high level league. So this only adds to the finals grand pressure. While the Riddlers did beat the Pineapples 3-1 in their regular season matchup with their new roster, I can't imagine the Pineapples are going to want to go down the exact same way.
Yeah, no, the Pineapples are most certainly going to give us a big fight here in the grand finals. And yeah, I think this might be the matchup to watch here to see if the Grave Lords can complete the perfect season. Only been done 3 times in Nemesis history there, and only one other team has done the perfect 21-0. That was the Wisps back in season 10. So we're gonna have to see if the Grave Lords have what it takes, or if the Pineapples can play spoiler in the very last match of the season here. So yeah, gonna be an exciting one there. 9 p.m. Eastern, but now we got to throw it around the horn here. Let's get some predictions going here. Colson, again, I am going to start with you for your prediction.
I think the Grave Lords do it. I think they get their perfect season. I think they have already got it with their regular season. I think they are hungry and they are going to do it in the grand finals against the Pineapples. But I think it's going to be the closest game that we've seen in Rivals all season. I think it goes 4-3, hopeful for a Game 7 overtime. But I think Grave Lords, they haven't lost, right? Like, it's hard to bet against the thing that literally hasn't lost a single series all season. So I think it's going to be close, but I think the Grave Lords squeak it out in the end and take it 4-3.
Yeah, fair enough. I agree. Hard to bet against them. Cog, are you going to bet against them? Are you going to bet against these Grave Lords?
Although I did say that it could be a little bit of a different matchup and a little bit of a different scoreline, it's probably not going to be a different scoreline. I really do think the Grave Lords are going to hand the Pineapples this loss. It's going to be 4-1 for the Grave Lords. I think that this 18-0 season is going to turn into a 21-0 season. We're going to have our second perfect team in Nemesis history.
Alrighty, fair enough. Jaegers, what do you think? We're going to see some perfection on Wednesday night?
I don't know, man. Austin, Pineapples are pretty good. They got a dynamic duo of Flashy and Flip Tintin, but I don't think they go for the win. I see Grave Lords finishing off the perfect season 4-2.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Again, hard to bet against 20-0 right now. And again, the Grave Lords have looked great this entire postseason run, the entire regular season. No blemishes to their name up to this point. And come Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, it's going to be a tough one. But I got the Pineapples here taking the upset in game number 7. I think they can do it. I think, there's some hope here. I think they have just enough to pull the upset. I think despite the Grave Lords being unbeaten so far, I think they're beatable. I think Flip 1010, he's going to lock in, pull off some great performances. I'm looking to him to really lead the way there. But I've got the Pineapples pulling a little bit of the upset at the very end. But I do have it in 7. So I think, again, going to be a close series. Probably going to be our best series of the grand finals, in my opinion. But we will have to see how that one's going to shake out. Again, that one Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys are following and staying tuned for that one for sure. So we'll keep things rolling along here, folks, as we are going to look on to the Challenger League Grand Finals, where we have Griffins taking on Venom here in this one. Both two teams with some great regular seasons thus far. We'll start it off with Cog here. Talk a little bit about the Griffins.
Yeah, so the Griffins have had a great season in this challenger. They ended up with a 14-4 regular season record, which is good enough for the second seed overall, ending first in the Eastern Conference, which is always a nice little pat on the back for you going into the playoffs. Their main roster dominated throughout the regular season. They only had 3 players, being Mealy, J-Rod, and Grambo, and they absolutely did. I mean, they did the best they could. I mean, they're in the grand finals. They're 14-4. It was a great regular season from them. This team, I don't know if it was specifically this team, but the Griffins did lose to Venom 4-1 in season 10, obviously 3 seasons ago, but a nice little grand finals rematch up here. And this is the 5th straight semifinals appearance at the very least for the Griffins. So this Griffins roster has a lot of potential. They have a lot of experience, and they're definitely ready to give Venom a shot for their money.
Yeah, they are, and it is slightly a different roster for the Griffins from that season 10. There is only one player returning from season 10 from that grand finals matchup, and that is Yukio, who is on this Venom squad, Jaegers, who had another impressive regular season.
Oh, I mean, Venom, I feel like I've seen them here before. 12-6 regular season record this season. Fourth seed overall. They won the Mountain Division, and they were the second seed in Western Conference, only behind Dissolved, who they ended up actually beating in the semifinals, and they're looking for a record fifth grand finals victory.
Yeah, no, it's a scary team. They got the plot armor somehow. Venom, they just find a way, no matter what, no matter how, they make it to the grand finals, and they usually find their way to a victory here, Colson. And how do these two teams get here through the postseason to make it to the grand finals?
The Griffins took a 4-2 win over the number 7 Bishops to start themselves out, and then they got a 4-1 win over the Wraiths, who were the number 3 seed. And then Venom went 4-1 over the number 5 seed Raptors, and then a 4-3 win over the number 1 seed in Dissolved.
Yeah, some crazy matches as well in the Challenger League. I have to add, because I mean, the upset over Dissolved was crazy. That was, one of the most insane matches. I know, Colson, you had fun casting that one. I mean, that was a crazy matchup right there, to get that win. And the Griffins, when they're on, they can look really good there, and we saw them perform really well. Jaegers, I'll throw it back to you. What can you give us for a little match preview here?
Absolutely. The second seeded Griffins are looking for their first chip, whereas Venom is looking to break the tie with the Melons for most championships all time in Nemesis. Last time Griffins were in this position, Fort, who's currently on Venom, was on the roster. Are Griffins going to be able to get there first, or will Venom keep their trophy case empty and search for the record?
Hmm. That is a great question, and honestly, I don't know who's gonna figure it out, but I guess it's got to be us. We're gonna have to figure it out here, and we'll start once again with Mr. Colson. Colson, have you figured out the answer to this question about who's gonna take the championship?
I have been wrong many times before. Some say I have the worst caster cursing record in the Nemesis League, but I'm gonna go for it anyway. Just like in Titan League, I gotta go with the team that beat the number 1 seed, and that team in this run was Venom. I think it's gonna be close. Griffins is no slouch of a team, but right now Venom looks like the team to beat, especially with that really long series, like you were saying. It was a 4-3 win over the number 1 seed. I think Venom do the exact same thing to the Griffins and take this one 4-3.
Alrighty, Cog, what do you got in this one?
Yeah, I think it's super hard to bet against Venom. I mean, they have been to this grand finals, especially with Fort and Yukio having this chemistry together. I can't see Venom not taking home a record-breaking 5th trophy. So I'm going to give it to Venom in 6. They're going to beat the Griffins 4-2.
Alrighty. Jaegers, who do you got in this one?
I'm not really that big of a trend follower. I think Griffins are amazing. Melee, great season, plays really fast, but I guess I am following a trend because I'm taking Venom in 7. I think it's going to be a great series, a lot of back and forths. Uh, I think it comes down to the wire, and I see Venom taking it.
Alrighty, fair enough. It is hard to bet against another team that's won 4 times already, looking for their 5th here. But again, I'm gonna do it once more. I'm picking the Griffins in this one. I think they have what it takes here, as long as they don't double commit. I was talking to Grambo. I said, just don't double commit, and you guys got a great chance here. If they can do that, I think the Griffins can take this one. I've got the Griffins in 6 here. I think they're just gonna be a little too solid, but again, don't be surprised. This Venom team, the plot armor, they somehow find a way. So I think that one is gonna be another exciting matchup. That one's gonna be our first one on a Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys are following the channel and are ready for that one. At 8 p.m. Eastern on a Wednesday. And yeah, let's continue on and let's start talking about our matchups that we are going to see tonight. Starting with Gladiators versus Origin, our second grand finals of the night here. Let's talk about this one. Jaegers, what can you tell us about the Gladiators?
Yeah, they had a 13-5 regular season record. They did pretty good in the beginning of the season, and then they just got better, picking up Brindy at after the 4 game uh, free agent area pickup. They were second seed in the Western Conference, only behind the Rooks number 1. And I don't know, they just been playing really solid ball this season, and I think they did well to get here.
Yeah, no, some solid ball for sure to make it here. You don't get to the 2 seed or for no reason there. So definitely a great regular season. And Cog, I'll throw it to you. What can you tell us about on the other side, their opponents in Origin?
Yeah, I'm sure Rockerman's happy to see one of his teams here in Origin. Origin started off this season 0-4. I'm going to have to iterate that a couple times because this has been an insane season for them. They did almost a complete roster wipe. They ended up keeping Ad Tyso and scrapping the rest of the house, picking up Vokes and Slays after that waiver wire in match day 4. And they had an 11 season regular season record. Like I said, started off 0-4, so that new roster ended 11-4. Mind you, some of them might not have been there for some of those losses, but in their previous matchup, with in the semifinals, I should say. They didn't have Ad Tyso, who was there for that 0-4 run. They had Wafarium, who was their sub, who they had never played with, and they ended up taking that semifinals match in a clean sweep. This Origin roster is not to be messed around with.
If I do say so myself, I completely agree there. They cannot be messed around with. No bias, of course, there. But yeah, no, definitely a great regular season, a good turnaround for them here. And Colson, both these teams made some impressive runs to make it here to the grand finals.
Absolutely. One a little bit more impressive than the other, but I'm going to go over them real quick. I think Gladiators had a great run, winning 4-2 over the Bandits, and they were the number 7 seed, the Bandits were. And then they had another win over Hypernova, who were the number 5 seed. They took them 4-3. And then we have Origin. I know there's a soft spot in your heart for that one. They had a 4-1 win over the number 4 seed in the Vipers, and then had a 4-0 sweeping win over Faded, the number 8 seed, but they were playing with a sub. Origin has had a phenomenal postseason run.
Yeah, they have so far, and both these teams well deserving to make it here. Cog, what can you tell us about the match preview?
Yeah, I'm super excited to talk about the match again tonight at 9 o'clock. You're not going to want to miss that. It's right after this 8 o'clock game that we get coming up here shortly. Neither of these teams had the hottest start to the season. However, the Gladiators picking up Brindy the Blade after that match day 4 makes them look almost unstoppable. They have about the exact same record as the new Origin team does. Origin picking up those 2 crucial pieces in Vokes and Slays definitely has turned around their entire season. Both of these teams have a lot more chemistry now. Origin took their first matchup 3-1, but we're definitely looking for a lot of boxing gloves thrown tonight.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a battle for sure here. 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. Gladiators versus Origin. I'm super excited to get ready for that one. And it's most certainly gonna be an intense showdown in the Prospect League. So make sure you guys are sticking around again for that one. But let's bring it around the horn here. Let's talk about this one here. Let's get some predictions going here. Let's kick it off with Colson here once again. Colson, who do you got taking this one?
This one is one of the closest actually for me, and I've actually been going back and forth, just thinking in my head. I've actually been changing in this document. I've been going 3-4, 4-3. Who's going to come out on top? But at the end of the day, I think Gladiators will take it 4-3. I'm so sorry, Rockerman, to bet against you and your squad, but I think that I'm going to have to end up with the Gladiators on this one.
Hey, that's fair enough. I mean, this Gladiators team is very dangerous. I have no ill will because they are a very scary squad, and that is a very valid pick here. Cog, who do you got taking this one?
Look, I've been hyping them up the entire process, the time entire we've been talking about prospects. So I got to go with Origin. I got a lot of love for those Gladiators guys, but I think Origin's going to be able to take this in 6 games, 4-2.
Alrighty, fair enough. Jaegers, who do you got in this one?
You know, it's a tough one to call. I know players on both sides. It's going to be a really close series, and I've been going through it trying to figure out which one I want to pick. I do see it going down to the wire. I think it's going to be a game 7 overtime type situation. I do see Origin taking it for their first chip since season 4, but I mean Gladiators are not going to make it easy at all.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's gonna be an intense series all the way through here, and we'll have to see who's going to come out on top. I, of course, gotta go with Origin in this one for my prediction. I'd probably get fired as GM if I didn't pick Origin. But I do think it's going to be an intense matchup. Again, the Gladiators are a crazy good team here, 2 seed, and that dynamic trio there is going to be super tough. But I think Origin, they have what it takes to make things happen here, and we'll see what they're going to be able to do tonight. That matchup at 9 p.m. Eastern, our second and final grand finals match of tonight. And now we got to slide on over to our matchup that is coming up in just a few minutes here. Let's take the final preview of the Novice League here, where we have Diffusion taking on Gorgons here in this one. It's going to be another spicy one happening right after this pre-show, so you guys are going to want to stick around for sure on this one. But let's talk a little bit briefly about these two teams. I'll start with you, Cog. What can you tell us about Diffusion?
Yeah, Diffusion has a super strong start of the season. I'm pretty sure they started off a crazy 18-0 game record wise. They ended up the regular season 11-3. They had a lot of roster changes going on. They started off the season with Lucky, ended up having to release Lucky for some personal matters. Signed Royalty. The things with Royalty didn't work out. Availability issues. So now they picked up Mallow, and with Mallow, they have made it all the way to this grand finals, and they are looking to take it home.
Yeah, they are looking to take it home. I mean, a great season for sure. One of the best in Nemesis this season. And they're going off against the team that was second best in the Novice League, Jaegers, the Gorgons.
Yeah, no, Gorgons also had an identical 11-3 regular season record, second seed overall. All the players were drafted except Kadofi, who was re-signed. Gorgons had a really good season, really good players on Gorgons, especially one to shout out is Demoralized. Do not play ones against the man and expect it's gonna be an easy matchup.
Yeah, no, that guy. I mean, he lives up to his name. I mean, it's demo in all caps. We're gonna see that guy
Yep.
demoing everyone in his path here tonight. In just a few minutes, we'll be seeing him take the pitch for that team there. Colson, I'll throw it to you. What can you tell us about the 2 runs through the postseason for these 2 grand finalists?
So these two guys, they've had really short runs. They were the number 1 and number 2 seed. They started in the semifinals. They got a 4-1 against the number 6 team in the Crows. Then the other ones, they finished a 4-0 against the Vandals, a number 5 seed. So even though they had shorter runs, they were dominant in the semifinals. They came out on top in their respective games, and it's hard to bet against them. Even though they had short runs, they deserve to be in the finals.
Yeah, they do deserve to be in the finals for sure here, and we're gonna see what they are made of here in this one, and it's gonna be an exciting one for sure here. I'll throw it back over to you, Colson, again for a little short match preview.
Quick match preview. We have Diffusion sub 0, Div and Mallow going against Gorgons, Demoralized, Gaddafi, and Zaya. Last week they played with their their sub JM Cook, and they still were able to come out on top. So if Gaddafi is playing, it could be an even stronger roster that will be playing against each other. In the regular season, they are tied 1-1 in games against one another. At the beginning of the season, Diffusion took a 3-0 win against the Gorgons, and then at the end of this season, actually, Gorgons took a 3-1 against Diffusion.
Yeah, these 2 teams have battled it out in the regular season, and now it all comes down to this for the Novice League Grand Finals. Let's throw back one more time here around the horn. Colson, again, I just love talking with you. I want to hear your prediction, Colson. What do you got for us here to close out the Novice League season?
Kept on kicking it back to me. Flip actually wanted to come in here too. I saw him for a second take my spot, but I'm going to take it with the Gorgons. I think if they have a full roster, I think they take it 4-3 over Diffusion.
Yeah, they are very solid. I did bring you Flip a little bit early there. You know, he's waiting. He's waiting in the wings here. I think that's the second season in a row I did that, so we'll have to remember for next time to to not get Flip in so early. I know he's so excited to see the Novice League Grand Finals. We'll hear from him in just a sec. But Cog, who do you got taking this one?
Listen, I've played with Did before. I know Sub-Zero has been a staple in the Novice League for a couple seasons now, and Mallow returning. Although this Gorgons roster did 3-1 them at the end of the season, we're not going to take that away. We're going to give it to Diffusion in 7.
Alrighty, fair enough. That's going to be a good one there. Diffusion in 7 on that one. And Jaegers, what do you got for us here?
I, you know, there's been a lot of close ones uh, that we've predicted. Uh, I don't think this one necessarily is going to be a close one. I do see the Gorgons taking this one 4-1. Uh, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's a good series, but I mean that's my prediction.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. You gotta predict it with your heart, Jaegers. That's what you gotta do.
Absolutely.
You gotta follow your heart there, and that's what his heart's saying. And my heart is saying also to follow the Gorgons here. As much as I also love Mallow here and want to see him win a chip, I think the Gorgons, they've been so solid this season. I think they've got what it takes here to finish things off here. So I'm gonna rock with the Gorgons here on this one, taking the grand finals victory. Again, it's gonna be another great one here. So I'm excited to see how it all turns out, and I know everyone else is too. So make sure you guys are sticking around. We're gonna fire up a prediction for you guys here for this one. Now, obviously, grand finals is coming your way right now here. So again, sit back, relax, get ready for all the action. And I'm going to throw it over to Flip and Chunk up in the booth here for the grand finals. Flip, why don't you take it away?
Thank you, Rocker Man. Chunk, we are finally at the grand finals. How are you doing, man? I promise I'm here, guys. I know you can't see my face quite yet, but I am here. Chunk, how you doing?
I'm doing great tonight. I'm excited to see how this game was going. We kind of had a little break, both teams getting prepped to play this game. And I know if you, both of these teams, you've got to find the game plan here tonight as these teams have looked dominant at different points of the season.
Yeah, different dominating points, like you said. I think the biggest difference for me is this diffusion roster. I feel like they have too many lulls, too many low points. Like whenever I casted them in the semifinals, it felt like they were too slow out the gate, and it felt like that this Gorgon's roster, they're gonna punish that really hard. I'm just looking at one stat in particular here, Chunk. It's from Demoralize, and it's a demoralizing stat. And there's a reason that his name's capitalized Demo, because he's averaging 4 demos a game. Like that should be a crime. I'm not gonna lie. So I think that going into this series, we're gonna look for some physical play out of Gorgons, and that might just be the thing that makes Diffusion, honestly, I think, tilt a little bit, because I would hate playing against that.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a mental thing. I would like to see Diffusion come out. Like you said, we saw them start out slow. I'd like to see them at least win one of the first 2 games to really solidify as you do not want to come out slow against this Gorgons team. They will punish that. And Gorgons, we saw them without their main roster in the semis. We did know Kadofi did not have power, and I'm curious to see if he will play tonight. I know it was a question mark coming into tonight, and I think that is kind of important. I did talk to Zaya and Demoralize, and that was the first time they had played with Cook since like the first 2 weeks of the season, and they got it done. So they've looked very impressive. So Gorgons, I'd say they have the edge here, but if you're Diffusion, there's a couple things you can do to really edge it in your favor, and starting off strong is one of the things I look to Diffusion to do to kind of turn the tables in their favor.
Yeah, and I think this Diffusion team has a big exclamation point on it, and that is Div. He can be just that dude. Whenever it comes down to crunch time, you got that Game 7 prediction coming out from Cog, and I bet if it goes to Game 7, you're looking at one player to make the plays happen, and that's going to be Div. So Div, I think, is going to be the player to look out for on Diffusion. As we're resetting the lobby real quick, getting these guys already here, because I mean this grand final, it's a battle of 2 teams that I think are trying to establish themselves as, hey, we were the dominant team this season. You can't question that, and I think we had the best 2 teams here in the Novice League going up against each other. So I think we could have asked for a better grand final. And Chunk, we got the desk's predictions here. But what about you? Who do you think's gonna win this one? How many games are we going? Do we have a Game 7 in hand?
All right, so I'm gonna stick with my original bracket prediction. I did have both these teams getting to the finals here. I believe I had Gorgons either in 5 or 6, but I know I had Gorgons winning, so I will stick with that. I believe it was in 5 though, which is the same prediction as Jaegers had. So me and Jaegers, ball knowers if we get it right. But I'd like to see what the Fusion can do. I know they've been looked impressive all season long, and I'm curious to see how they will come out tonight, just based off what we kind of saw these teams match up later on in the season, and we saw Gorgons really take advantage and win 3-1, but it should be a really close series.
Yeah, I agree, and I think I'm gonna give Diffusion another game, one extra game. I'm gonna give them 6, but I think Gorgons are gonna take this one. I do believe in, I believe in the demos. Also believe in Zaya. I think underrated player for sure, and we'll have to see who comes out on top. But this Diffusion roster, not want to be messed with. Sub-Zero, Div, Mallow definitely have something to say here as we get grand finals kicked off, as some early pressure here from Diffusion. Going to get saved away by Zaya into the corner. Now it's going to look as demoralized. Clears that one over to Zaya. One more touch coming out from him in the corner. Looking for the pass mid. Nobody there for it though, as Kadofe is going to have an open net here. Going to bang it off the post. And we're getting started early with some novice moments here. Chunk, and already Gorgons looking to put on the pressure. Could have had one early there.
Yeah, Kadofi getting a little bit of those nerves out early. He had it what looked to be an open net. I don't believe he had much boost. Couldn't get around it. And the Fusion will get away with one, some would say. And I'm curious to see if Gorgons will use the demos for this pressure. We know the demos will come out. We kind of saw different Gorgons in that last semifinals. Demoralize did have some issues with this controller and didn't demo as much, so I did hear he got that new controller fix. So as Sub-Zero gets a crucial beat here to set the Fusion up early, and I was talking about starting off strong, and that is how you want to do a clean beat on Demoralize. No one back to save it for Gorgons, and Diffusion strikes here first.
An early goal is what Diffusion were looking for. They want to apply as much pressure as possible. You can't give one up immediately, though, as Sub-Zero going to get back for that save as well. Now, an open net here for Div. You just got to put it on target, and that's how you do it. I thought that was on target. That's why I said that, I swear. But that one is going to ring off the top corner, and it remains a 1-0 game. Sub-Zero barely able to get that touch to the corner, and now it's going to be Gorgons looking for their chance to counterattack. They're just going to put a shot on target here. Mallow able to make the save. What a shot there. Coming up from Zaya, and Demoralized going to put another one mid. Div, though, had that read, had that clear. And Kadofe going to get the touch. Looking for one more. Not going to have it, though. And Div putting her in reverse, gets it past Sub-Zero. That's not the player you want to get it past, though, so Zaya going to try to find the mid-pass with 0 boost. Trying to get one more touch. He's there. Demoralized. Going to put that one in the back of the net, tying this game up.
Yeah, the connection of the two players you want. Both Zaya and Demoralized have had success in champions in other leagues. Both, I believe, recently, so this is the connection you want. Very successful players, and it's no shock we see them today here in the finals. And they are the players you need to stop here, mainly if you're Diffusion, but don't sleep on Kadofi as well.
Yeah, Kadofi gonna be a huge difference maker here, but it's gonna be Demoralized putting another shot on Div with 0 boost, having to make that save. Gets the boost and the ball here. Gets a nice 50, but it's gonna be Kadofi once again. Zaya gonna look for the pass mid. Mallow has to save it, but Kadofi sneaks it by him, right behind him. Mallow thought he had the near post saved. Well, psych, he's going back post for that shot.
Yeah, normally people refer to Zaya as a striker, but these passes have been incredible, leading both Kadofi and Demoralized have really good opportunities, have some free shots, and they've been able to capitalize here early off some really good passing plays and teamwork. And I'm curious to see how Diffusion will respond to that, maybe with some teamwork of their own, but so far they have been stopped.
So far, not only one goal for him, and it was a very good goal, but they could have had that open net, wasted that opportunity, and since then it has been a lot of defense on the side of Diffusion. Looking to continue here. Div going to try to get this touch, but only going to go as far as Demoralize. Sub-Zero on the backboard, a little awkward. Gets one touch, able to get the follow-up, and Div's going to be there for the shot. That one's going to go wide. Div looking for the follow-up, but it's going to hit towards the side wall instead as Demoralize now. Going to try to take some control. Got the 100 boost, looking for the 50. Mallow wins that one really well, but that one off the backboard, and going to be cleared away as Zaya able to get the beats, and Mallow going to look for a clear back, but it's only as far as Demoralize, who set that one up high. Got a follow-up, and it's going to try to be Diffusion and Div here looking for an opportunity, but it's going to be Demoralized sending that one away. Demoralized now looking for a pass mid, has a teammate, but Mallow had that one cleared. Kadofi looking for the follow, looking for the challenge. Mallow not able to get it off the hood of his car, and Zaya able to get the follow-up clear. A minute 20 remaining. Diffusion looked for an opportunity, but a demo from Zaya, and Mallow didn't chow this ball. He thought he had the shot covered. Sub-Zero in net also, I think, got bumped to confusion. Results in a Gorgons 3-1 lead here.
Yeah, everyone being demoed, bumped, demoing, bumping. Just really physical play by both teams here. And Gorgons able to get another great opportunity and capitalized. We've seen Diffusion find some opportunities of their own as Zaya puts in another goal here. Really, I'd say, leading this offense for Gorgons. Just finds a beat, kind of similar to the one we saw Sub-Zero do earlier in the game. Just a great beat on Mallow, floating over the midfield, and seems to be very successful for both teams here, Flip.
Yeah, and I think the midfield is going to be where this game is won, and right now it is Gorgons winning that one heavily, as Demoralize is going to go ahead and demoralize them some more with the top left clanger to the back of the net. A huge shot here. Div just not able to get there in time, and that's just a huge goal here. 5-1 lead. Gorgons showing up and showing out here early in the grand finals, and this is kind of similar to what we saw, Chunk, in the semis coming out from Diffusion. They start really slow, I feel like, and this Gorgons team, they're not going to let you start slow without getting punished. The pass from Demo to Zaya, it's beautiful coming out from Gorgons.
Yeah, the teamwork has been incredible. A pinch opportunity. Mallow kind of out of position there, and they get punished. We've seen, I'd say, a lot of nerves from Diffusion, a lot of over-aggression and mispositioning, which is what you can't do against Gorgons. You've got to find the way to punish them, because sometimes they misposition as well. I feel like finding a way around that will be the key to both these teams. Just positioning, I feel like, plays a lot, especially with the physical play we see from both these teams on early.
Yeah, and once again, another counter-attack opportunity, but excuse me, a wasted one, it feels like, and there's no real shots coming through from Diffusion. Mallow finally able to get the beat on one. Demoralized racing back. The shot's not on target, and Demoralized is going to have the boost to get the save. Mallow going to try to continue to put pressure on, but nobody in the midfield able to put that shot back on target. That touch from Div going to be met by Kadofe, and it's going to be Zaya clearing that one off the side. Well, Demoralized going to flip that ball way high. Div has to get a touch on this one. That ball was actually going to fall on target, I believe. That one would have been a 7-1 Brazil, but instead it's 6-1. No Brazil. No, don't pack our bags quite yet. But Gorgons, they're looking to go home early here and trying to set up a sweep, because this dominant performance already, Chunk, that's what you want to see coming out of the gate.
Yeah, you definitely want to see that if you are that Gorgons team, but if you're Diffusion, one of the things I really expect them to do is to keep your mental high. I know it can get demoralizing, pun intended, to kind of get out-physicaled, outscored, but you got to keep your head up, especially going on. One thing I was impressed was how they were able to keep their head up. After kind of slow starts against the Crows, they had to make a lot of comebacks, and I think that if they're able to continue to do what they were able to do in that Crows semis, I feel like they do have a great chance here, but starting off slow, you got to take it one game at a time, especially with how this first game ended up.
First game not going the Diffusion way. They put up 7 saves, but they let up 6 goals, so just shows the amount of pressure that Gorgons really had. And I think this game, you've got to see a lot more solo plays, because I think the best way that they can ever, like the goal that they scored was a Sub-Zero solo play into just a pure beat. And the way that you catch out this Gorgon's team, their third man does overcommit. We saw Mallow get a beat on one. The shot wasn't on target, and Demo was able to get back in time. But that's the kind of play you need to make. You got to make their third man overcommit and get a nice shot on target. That's not going to help out, though, as Kadofe just gets the touch right past Mallow here. And the touch here from Sub-Zero is just... Or he doesn't even get the touch, sorry. It's just a little bit of miscommunication and panic, it feels like, on the side of the Diffusion defense.
Yeah, I feel like if you're Diffusion, you're playing a little antsy. You got to play a little bit more patient. We do know the talent of all these players on the side of Diffusion. All the incredible mechs from Sub-Zero, the consistency from Div, but they just seem a little shaky so far. We've seen them miss a multitude of easy shots and opportunities, and I'm kind of looking for them to settle down, make less risky plays, and not get punished here, as you do not want to be down against this Gorgon's team, especially with Demoralize. Everyone in Novice knows once you go down, it kind of enables them to go for more demos and really open up the scoring attack.
Yeah, and this scoring attack will probably continue for Gorgons as Demo was hunting them demos. Zaya just able to get a touch there, but still an opportunity here for Diffusion. Looking to continue it, but Sub-Zero's touch is going to be cleared away by Demoralize, and Div with a nice touch on the sidewall. Looking for a follow-up. He gets it past another, but that touch from Zaya is going to get that ball cleared all the way out. Still, more pressure here as Mallow looks for some control. Doesn't have any boost though, so might leave it for a teammate, but instead he bumps Sub-Zero. Div toward the backboard. Div doesn't have the double. Thought he did. Instead, it rails off the crossbar. Still, more pressure here for Diffusion. This is the kind of offense that you want to see coming out from them. Demoralized. Awkward touch there. That ball bouncing mid. Div already up. Gets the beat on Kadofe, but a demo in the back end is going to force Mallow to take that shot. Not going to be on target, but the demo means that there's nobody mid. And now Demoralized looking for one more. Gets the fake on one. As Zaya going to try to take control. The touch a little far. Still able to get the pass across. Mallow not able to react to it. And Sub-Zero here with zero boost. Kadofe just going to try to charge that ball immediately. Looking for one more touch off the ceiling. He gets it. Demoralized couldn't get the shot on target though, but still more time wasted. That one though is going to be cleared away, and Zaya's going to be there for the shot. Demoralized touch. I thought someone from Diffusion would be there, but after the team bump, Zaya just ends up in the right spot.
Yeah, it just seems like that midfield presence after the pass just kind of caught Div off guard. He had full boost, just not really expecting the man midfield, and you gotta wonder if the comms are there for Diffusion. Definitely can help just knowing where players are, especially midfield. If you have ball cam on it, Zaya will get a third goal here as Gorgons just continue to mount this attack. Mallow just a bad clear, ends up feeding out middle on Zaya there to capitalize again, and Zaya has been taking over this series.
Taking over this series. And you know you can't do it without his teammates, but man, sometimes it looks like that. But every goal he scored, I'm pretty sure has been assisted by Demoralized. So it's so far a really good series from all the Gorgons players, and Mallow looking to have a good series himself, as Mallow got big for that 50 there on the goal line, and he's able to get some help from Div to put that one through. A 1-3 lead, or sorry, a 1-3 deficit now for Diffusion. Still, 2 goals is it's a lead where you can't quite feel safe. So this Gorgons team, they got to feel a little bit pressured here, but knowing them, they might just score 2 more right away. So Chunk, if you're this Diffusion squad, how do you continue to put up this pressure, even though this Gorgons team just seems to be beating you on every challenge in the midfield right now?
We saw them be able to come back against the Crows in similar deficits with even less time, if I remember correctly. I feel like they have all the talent offensively to do it. They just need to really continue this offensive pressure and connect with each other. We've seen multiple attacks fizzle out because a pass leads middle, no one's there, no continued pressure, and I feel like that will really diminish your attacks here, especially when you need all the attacks you can get against what has been a pretty stout Gorgons defense here, Flip.
Yeah, and what I've seen a lot is you see a lot of control or a really high clear, and either way, it makes it to where there's usually like a third man always back here for Gorgons, like sitting in net, playing the shot. That one though, it's gonna be too good of a shot as Div realizes that Kenofe does not have the touch on the double, and the defense in net is just not quite ready. Zaya thought he had the touch, crept out a little bit, and he gets punished there. A huge goal there from Div, and these are the kinds of games where you gotta capitalize if you're Diffusion, because you're not going to get a whole lot of chances to be down only one goal with a minute remaining. This is the time to strike. You cannot let this opportunity go to waste, but a huge touch there from Demoralize. Div able to get the clear. Still, more pressure here from Gorgons. They know it's do or die time. Div up in the air, gets the beat on Zaya, but it's going to be a Demoralize getting that ball cleared. Zero, Sub-Zero looking for the touch to the corner. Off the sidewall, but Demoralized sticking around on Zero Boost. Sub-Zero, that touch off the backboard. The clear from Zaya. It's going to be beautiful. Div off the sidewall, can't get the follow-up touch. A double commit, though. That ball going straight up. Sub-Zero hitting that one to the back wall. Gets bumped, so goes a little too hard. Mallow passes it back to him. Div going to be there for the pass. Div gets the goal. The hat trick ties up the game here with 30 seconds remaining.
That's exactly what you need if you're Diffusion. A great passing play from all three of them. Really good finishing pass, good vision from Sub-Zero. Seeing Divs there, coming down middle, finds him and gets a perfect strike to make this game tied. And we've seen these comebacks happen before, and I'm curious to see how Gorgons will play now that they've allowed 3 straight after being up 3-0 early on in this game.
All that matters, though, Chunk, is this next goal, it feels like, and it might just come right here. Div, put that one away, buddy. That one is going to be a 4-3 lead here for Diffusion. They don't want overtime. They want to end this game right now.
Yeah, Div has been phenomenal this game, putting away all 4 goals. With 30 assists, 2 from Mallow, 1 from Sub-Zero. Really good plays from Diffusion here, and really good shooting from Div to alleviate the pressure that they've been feeling. They haven't had to save a whole lot as they've found their rhythm on attack, and they're able to take this big game too, which is definitely one of the keys to victory that I really needed to see from them in order to go the distance here in this series.
Yeah, honestly, I think the resilience to be down 0-3, but have the pressure, and not only that, I felt like the composure to be able to put up these goals. They didn't overcommit and put themselves in bigger of a hole. They just continued to play their game. Their midfield challenges were a lot better this game, and I do think that the Gorgons didn't connect on a lot of stuff either. And so I think you got to look for Gorgons to be a little bit better on the defensive end. I think they trusted a lot on the defensive end as well. Like Kenofe hit that ball off the sidewall, doesn't get the double touch, and Zaya thought he did. And so he crept out of net. Div took advantage of that. That last goal, Kenofe really high up on the up the field as third man because he expected a 50 to come out, but that ball just sails right over his head. And those kinds of plays happen whenever you play a super trusting kind of rotation where you're super aggressive. You're going to score a lot of goals, Chunk, but you're definitely liable to get scored on. So, going into this game 3, do you think we see this Gorgons team dial it back a little bit? Do you think they still continue to play their game? And most importantly, do you think Diffusion are still able to capitalize on those little mistakes that Gorgons have been making?
Yeah, I do think the offense Diffusion had last game was completely different, completely flip-flopped to what we saw in that game 1. They weren't stuck on their back line getting 6 saves from the 13 opportunities that Gorgons had, and I think if they're able to allow their attack to be similar to that they are looking good here in this game too, and they got to break up those connections we saw from Gorgons offensively, and I'm curious to see how Gorgons will adapt as we see a big Rule 1 come out. We've got a 2v2 here in game number 3, and we've got the 2 high style players on both teams going at it here right now, Flip.
Yeah, the 2 high style players, but if I was in a 2v2, I'm trusting Div and Sub-Zero if I'm on Diffusion. And I think having Demoralized and Zaya as well is these are the two twos players that you want on the pitch. Div obviously making a huge save there, but the shot from Demoralized was just as good. Div having to make another one there. That one gonna get cleared away to the corner. Still more pressure here. Isaiah puts that one back into the corner. That ball bouncing awkwardly, but Div's gonna have one touch, gets the flip, trying to get the 50 as well. Demoralized wins that though. That one rolling off the wall, rolled off the wall just a little bit, so Demoralized fakes it, goes down. Div, no touch coming through. Isaiah just has to put that one in the back of the net, and he does. A huge goal there for Gorgons, and just a 1-0 lead once again. And if you're Diffusion, obviously the rule one, you gotta honor it, but man, sometimes you'll be thinking in the back of your head, man, what if I didn't honor that, you know? But in the end, 2v2 goal results in a Gorgons lead, but now we're back to 3v3 here, Chunk, and it's a whole different game.
Yeah, Demoralized on that goal. I realize it's a 2v2, plays it smart, gets a beat on one div, no boost, able to capitalize on that. And I think if they play smart like that, even in threes, that they'll find themselves in really advantageous positions here. And I think that's what they've really been doing well this series. And if they've played smart, Gorgons are gonna be the team to stop. But Div has been the all-star X factor here, as Melo has a good opportunity, but not able to find the angle.
That one is a good pass from Div. Sub-Zero. Div looking for the bump. Mallow was looking for the shot, but Zaya able to get in the way. Now, a counterattack here. Is that one going to be off target? Looking for the dunk on Div, but Div smartly not going for that one. Instead, he's going for that touch, and he's going to get a nice one. Is he able to get over another? Kadofe was able to get a piece up it. Awkwardly, Mallow able to win that challenge. That ball bouncing down. Mallow looking for the follow. Not going to come through. That ball going to get cleared. Sub-Zero, a little awkward here. Has to clear that one to his own corner. Div looking for the follow. Gonna pop that ball up high. Kadofe immediately on top of that one. That ball bouncing in the corner. Shot from Demoralized is good. Mallow in position to save that one. A huge bump here as Zaya's going to take that one. One more touch. Not going to come through as Div gets a huge pinch out. No boost to work with. He doesn't care. Huge touch there. Demoralized last man. Gets a nice touch. And Kadofe able to get the last man beat. Now just has to put the shot on target. Not able to, but it's a huge fake. And Zaya sneaks it past the defense there. Div couldn't put the brakes on in time. And a 2-0 lead here for Gorgons.
Yeah, Kadofi, the lowest sal in this lobby, I believe, by 70 MMR. Just really, he could be so good, but sometimes he won't hit the ball. And Zaya realizes that, able to capitalize, kind of fakes out Div, and I think he has been playing pretty well offensively, but the defense on his side has been lackluster, but they haven't really needed defense here in this game, as they have been able to continue what they are able to get done at the beginning of Game 2 and all through Game 1.
Yeah, now it's just about this Gorgons team holding on, and like I said, they've been able to, and they just weren't able to do that in Game 2. And I think whenever they start putting their foot off the gas, that's whenever things get dangerous. And whenever you pass the ball to Mallow, he will make you pay.
Yeah, Kadofi, a missed touch. Demoralized, no boost, and Mallow punishes. No boost for Zaya either. Out of reserves for this Gorgons team, and it seems like once they get caught out on that defensive side when they're coming back from their attack, no boost left. It seems like the prime position for Diffusion to strike, as they do there.
Can they capitalize once again though? With Sub-Zero looking for the clear. Demoralized, able to get the beat on that one. Mallow not going to get the touch there, and so Div, last man back here, has to play the shot as Kadofi with a nice one. That one going to ring off the crossbar and out. That ball off the ceiling. Going to be met by Demoralized in the air, but Mallow had him answered. A huge touch there from Kadofi. Div not able to get back. A great shot there from Kadofi from half field, and a great touch there from Mallow, but Kadofi just too quick on it.
Yeah, he turns back super quick on that ball, realizing where the 50's going, and puts it with enough power to get it by this Diffusion defense, who has not had a lot of answers just to the quick rotations that we've seen from Gorgons through the series offensively. They've looked tremendous here, but the comebacks have been seen from this Diffusion squad. You do not want to let Div have the ball, as we've seen what miraculous things he's done here in Game 2.
Div touches the ball. sometimes it just results in a goal for him. People don't know how. It's like he works miracles. Gonna have to work a huge one here. Sub-Zero gonna look for the shot. That one gonna go off target, and Kadofi gonna get the clear. Zaya now not gonna touch that one. Kadofi gonna get the touch, but Div has that ball saved to the corner. Still, 10 seconds remaining. They gotta score 2 goals. Maybe make it 3. That ball hits the crossbar though, and it's out. Kadofi with the shot. Sub-Zero gonna have that ball saved. Has a counterattack opportunity, but it's gonna be Zaya. Gonna be able to get back to that one, and as time runs out, Gorgons secure game number 2 here. Huge win here from Gorgons, and able to put themselves, back on top, right the ship a little bit. Diffusion, they got to find a way to get that offense rolling once again, because this Gorgons team, they are just, whenever they're on, they're so hard to stop.
Yeah, they've shown an incredible offense again. 12 shots, a lot of them wide, only 5 saves and 3 goals. We see 4 of them rattle crossbar, go out other ways, but they find their offense so easily, and Diffusion no answers so far. They've got to find a way to get off their defense, and once they do, we've seen the easy counterattacks they get just from overcommits and kind of missed touches from Gorgons when they're on their back half, on the back foot. And I think that if Diffusion can find their stride and get on that attack, that is where you've got to be for Diffusion to win this series.
Diffusion, you've got to find a way to get past this Gorgons offense. Kadofi gonna have a shot there. Mallow gonna have that ball saved. Div with 1 touch is gonna be Zaya with a nice shot. That one already putting Gorgons up by 1, and we're only 9 seconds into this game.
Yeah, Zaya, the striker for the team, comes off the wall, gets a great shot. Sub-Zero, believe he was last, just caught a little too far up. Didn't expect Zaya to put it off the wall with the amount of power he did. And Zaya, known as a striker, you do not want to let him have opportunities. He will punish you with how good he is at just getting the ball in the net.
And now looking to do it once again. Does Kadofi look for the pass mid? Zaya a little too far though, so he's gonna have to challenge this one as Sub-Zero try to get it past him. Nice touch there from Zaya, but Div gonna have that one clear. Kadofi with a beautiful fake and Demoralized with the shot. Oh my goodness, it's a screamer from half court. Mallow, he wasn't quite ready for that one as Demoralized puts a 2-goal lead here for Gorgons.
Yeah, Sub-Zero tries to get there, tries to get the touch. The power and the placement combined puts it around 2 Diffusion defenders who were able to at least make a play on the ball, but an incredible shot from Demoralized. They seem to be able to do what they've been able to do all series long. They really haven't found an answer for it for Diffusion. We've seen them win a game, but it was really because they were able to come back in that second half of the game. They've been able to get it done through this first half every single game for Gorgons, and you've got to either come back or find a way to stop it, as if they win this game, you will be put on a 3-1 match point, which is definitely dangerous.
Can be dangerous, but Diffusion, we know not to count them out until the clock hits 0. Div gonna get a beat on 1, looking for the follow-up, has an open net to shoot on. Demoralized, do you have this ball saved? No! Diffusion and Div are gonna bring this game into a 1-goal game here. Another counterattack, and this is the Diffusion way. This is how they're gonna have to beat this Gorgons team, because I think specifically Div, he can get the beats in the midfield into the counterattack. I think Mallow can as well, but you're going to be looking for Div to do that a lot more often, and if they want to take some games off this Gorgons team, that's how they're going to have to do it here, Chunk. But with 3.5 minutes still remaining, still plenty of time for either one of these teams to make a statement. But right now, you just got to put your faith in Gorgons, because I think they have just looked so much more dominant here as they're able to get that ball cleared away.
Yeah, they got punished on that counterattack. We saw Demoralized go for a demo, and then we saw a beat on Kadofi, no one home. Div able to capitalize. I think that is what's got to happen. You've got to find the counterattacks. You've got to find these little fast break opportunities, as that has been successful. And I think that's really one of the only ways to play against this Gorgons team. They've done so well to shut down any attack where everyone's back for this Gorgons team, but Demoralized will find one a great trickle down off this pass from Kadofi, able to slot it across. Mallow not able to do anything. Backflip. Sub-Zero gets bodied on the 50 on the goal line, and Gorgons continue to keep up this first half pressure.
The pressure continues. Still a 2-goal lead here. A touch there from Demoralized makes it to where Div can't get a flip reset, as Zaya is able to get the long clear. Looking for the follow-up as Mallow had 0 boost. Div, though, in the opposite corner, able to pick up 100 and try to take control of that ball. Got bumped off, so it's going to be Kadofi getting that ball towards the midfield. Zaya looking for the touch after Sub-Zero got it and able to get a flick past one. Div, last man back, able to get the 50. Kadofi has to read this touch and is able to, but it's towards his own net. That one's just going to be on target, and disaster strikes here, but maybe one of the best shots I've seen all series.
Yeah, we can edit the trail and the name in Photoshop and get a goal of the year going for Kadofi here. But an unfortunate touch as last man back, just too far up. Angles his car towards that net, and Div will find another one off the misplay from Gorgons. And we've seen that awkwardness from Kadofi as third man, and just everyone really on Gorgons as well. It is hard to, when they are back on their last leg, and it's been what has worked for Diffusion as they need to find another one here without being punished by one of these Gorgons' explosive attacks.
Yeah, kind of trying to make that one happen here, but if you're Diffusion, you got to be happy where the game's at right now. A 1-goal lead for Gorgons is all you can really ask for right now. You are still in this one in Game 4. A crucial game here. Trying to make this a best of 3 is Diffusion. Do not want to be on match point. Div trying to secure the tie right there. Maybe has an opportunity here, but Demoralized with a huge demo in the midfield. Prevents any shot from coming through. Sub-Zero able to get back for the save. Sub-Zero now looking for a long clear. That's over Kadofi. That one, that touch from Div is going to get cleared away, though. Sub-Zero trying to continue the pressure. Mallow hits it past him, but able to get a backflip touch on it anyway. No touch there. Div going to have to go for this one. The fake from Demoralized, but Sub-Zero able to make the save on the goal line. Mallow with one touch off the sidewall. Sub-Zero going to bang that ball. And it's Kadofi. His touch could be met by Div, who pops that ball up high. It's going down. Demoralized doesn't have the touch, but Zaya does. Sub-Zero in the back line, able to get the clear. Able to take control, able to try to get past one, gets it past another. Demoralized last man, the touch to the sidewall. Div gonna try to beat him there, but Demoralized wins that race. That one gonna be met by Demoralized, and then off the double, the pinch doesn't come through, and Mallow looking for the counterattack. A huge demo. Kadofi to the corner. Kadofi gonna get met by Sub-Zero. That one off the crossbar. Div gonna hit the post. Mallow not gonna be there. Mallow there for the shot this time. It's high. Kadofi doesn't have the touch, but Demoralized into the corner. Div trying to continue the pressure. Doesn't have the touch. Sub-Zero coming to answer for him. Demoralized looking for the clear. Buying his team some time. Mallow not going to be there as Zaya gets the dunk. Div not able to... Oh my gosh, he does get the touch, and a huge one it is. Sub-Zero with the long clear. It's not on target. The follow-up's not there. And off the backboard, Demoralized has the clear. And Mallow not going to get the shot through. Diffusion trying everything in their bag of tricks. Not enough to get through this Gorgons team. One more opportunity. It dies in front of Sub-Zero, and all they can do is be on match point now. Gorgons able to come up clutch on defense there.
Yeah, the defensive stand Gorgons had at the end of the game was incredible. Diffusion not able to finish the goal. They had a lot of good looks at the end, but incredible defense. I'd say a lot of calm play from everyone really there for Gorgons. We didn't see any double commits, really costly mistakes defensively, letting up a goal in their final little flurry of attacks. So Gorgons have been playing smart on defense when they need to, and it's been just enough to get them up in this series 3-1, looking to take it home early. But Diffusion, I'm sure they are not going down without a fight. We've seen them time and time again be able to handle really high adversity through series, and I expect them to do so next game with really answers on these counterattacks is what they've got to do. And if they can find either their offensive rhythm or maybe some disruption on this Gorgon side, they're gonna be able to find enough goals to get past this Gorgon's offenses. We've seen the offense be so dominant, but the defense kind of lacks positioning after their big attacks.
Yeah, I think that's the only way, and we've seen it work time and time again. But Chunk, it's so much easier said than done. Div gonna try to make a play happen here. Kadofi able to get the touch, but Sub-Zero has the shot. The shot is good, not good enough. That is Kadofi with a huge save. Zaya trying to get that ball clear. Mallow's touch gonna go straight to Demoralize. That one's banged out the backboard. Demoralize looking for one more. Sub-Zero had that ball read, had that ball cleared. A huge dunk there by Zaya though. As Div looking for one more. Kadofi is able to get the touch on it. Though that's a shot from Kadofi, but Sub-Zero gonna be there for the save. Demoralized, not letting this attack in though, not able to get the follow-up touch after that first one as that ball bounces mid. Mallow over to Div. Div pops that one up for Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero with the beat. Can he get the double? The shot not gonna come through, but that ball floating mid. One more touch from Sub-Zero. Nobody from Diffusion was ready for it. Demoralized looking for the pass out to Zaya. Zaya on the sidewall looking for the shot, not going to come through. Demoralized picks up that 100 boost, gets that ball mid. Kadofi's in the air. Kadofi not going to have the shot there. Sub-Zero looking for the clear, not going to get the touch off the sidewall. Demoralized going to just cut this one. Has a net to shoot at, not the power to get past Div though. Demoralized continuing to just be a nuisance. Gets that ball back mid. Kadofi gonna have an opportunity to shoot that ball. That one not gonna go in, but the double is there. And Kadofi showing up big here in Game 5.
Yeah, the offensive pressure we saw from Demoralize setting up the play, just being a nuisance in their half, and Kadofi able to capitalize off a big deep middle, and that's all you need to do if you're going to continue this offensive rally. And the Fusion had an opportunity earlier in this game, not able to capitalize, but more team plays have worked as well, not just counterattacks. They need to find something here as they find themselves in a deficit again here in Game 5.
Yeah, and another huge shot there from Demoralize, but not gonna go through. Div now gonna have some time on this ball, but he's not gonna take it. He has all the time in the world, but Demoralize, he says thank you very much, I'll take that one. Gets a huge fake. Sub-Zero able to get the dunk. Zaya's shot gonna get blocked away by Mallow, and Mallow able to get that ball cleared, but Diffusion really scrambling here as Kadofi, as somebody said in chat, but I think it's, I'm gonna keep saying Kadofi. That's just how it's said, and that's how it's gonna be said. As Sub-Zero not able to get the touch off the backboard. Mallow has to get this one clear, and he's able to. A nice high clear there. Off the ceiling, Div able to get the beat, but it's only as far as Zaya. Zaya gonna pop that ball up high. Not gonna get the shot there, but it's gonna be Demoralized getting the demo into Kadofi getting the shots. And, I mean, the 3-on-1 attack is just too much here for the Gorgons.
Yeah, the ability to really break down the team one by one with these midfield plays and the demos is what makes this Gorgon team stand out really from any other team in Novice. They just play their role so well, and if they continue to do so in this Game 5, they will be looking themselves down a Novice League championship, and they have looked impressive so far, and they look to do so.
All they need is to survive for 2.5 minutes, maybe put on another one. As that was a screamer from Zaya, but gonna get saved away by Div. But that one off the backboard. Div gonna have a touch, but not a great one, so it's gonna be more pressure here. Demoralized with a nice pop, but Mallow. Uh-oh, Mallow. Don't do it to him, Mallow. Mallow with one touch doesn't have the boost to follow it up. Would have been disgusting if he was able to put that one on target, but instead, it's gonna be Sub-Zero off his own backboard. One touch, looking for the air dribble out, but Demoralized gonna be right on top of that one. Able to get the shot as well. Had to be Mallow covering up for Div there. Zaya on his own backboard. An awkward bounce, but Mallow is going to hit that one to the backboard. Demoralized has the read, but it's going to be out to Div. But Kadofi going to get the beat there. Mallow now. A touch over to Zaya. Zaya with a nice pop. Zaya toward the corner. Div going to have that one answered, but Zaya was able to get the dunk. Demoralized. Able to get that one to the backboard, but Mallow able to get that ball cleared. Sub-Zero. High shot. Or sorry, high clear, but gonna look for a shot now. That one off the backboard. The bump doesn't come through. And it's gonna be an instant counter for Gorgons. And uh-oh, Diffusion, look out, you're down 3. And Chuck, we are a minute 24 seconds away from crowning these Gorgons as Novice champions.
Yeah, for what I saw from that, the car language, I would say, from Diffusion, they just look beat after that quick counterattack. The great ability to find the pass to Zaya, who's just able to send it right back in their face in what felt like 0 to 100 real quick on that counterattack. And right now, Diffusion gonna need to find some miracles, gonna need to find some end of season heroics, but so far they haven't found anything against this stout defense we've seen.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a tough one. If they want to come back by 3 goals in 45 seconds with the way this Gorgon team is playing, the pressure they are applying, a huge demo, but that touch gonna just be to their own corner. Diffusion, as Malo is able to get a beat on one, zero boost to get a beat on another, gets a backflip, but Zaya gonna demo the person that was supposed to follow. No boost here from Malu, just trying to play the 50. Div not able to get the touch. Sub-Zero able to win a huge 50 there, but Kadofi gonna have the touch to the sidewall. Mallow looking for a pass mid. Div not close enough to it. Now Div on the sidewall knows it's all over. Zaya looking to put the dagger away. Doesn't want it. It's too easy for him. Gonna celebrate with the boys because they know this series is over. Their season is over, and they come out on top. Div doesn't put that one on. The ball just needs to touch the ground, and Gorgons are your Nemesis Season 13 Novice Champions.
Yeah, we saw the stretch from Gorgons going down late in the season, and it just looked incredible to see what they were able to do all throughout playoffs, all throughout the last little stretch of the season. And respect to all of them. They played phenomenally, and I think that Gorgons really deserve this just based on the improvement they're able to make all season long, and great plays from everyone on Gorgons, and really good to show up for Diffusion as well. They played their heart out all season long, and just not able to find it against this Gorgons team who looked incredible in the final game.
Yeah, and you know what, Chunk? I had to say this. I think the Gorgons were just that much better. I don't know. I mean, like, Diffusion, I'm positive they were the second best team in Novice. So it's not like there was much more competition for Gorgons. They beat everybody. And, you know, when it mattered most, they stepped up. And I think all 3 of them really did step up. I think Demoralize is just so demoralizing to play against. That man definitely my MVP. That he just looks so much quicker in the midfield. Every shot was also a really good shot from him. I just think as a whole he really elevated that Gorgons roster. But man, Chunk, what a series! A lot of people predicted the 4-1, yourself included. So congratulations, you're right on that. And that's just a huge win if you are Gorgons. But that's just our first grand final of the night, first grand final of Season 13. And that might be the most dominant one we see, because I know there's a lot of them remaining, and I know the rest of them are going to be absolute peak content here. And we still got the prospect one coming up here, Chunk. So I'm ready to see that one now after seeing these novice teams really battle it out and seeing just how good these novice teams are. I'm ready to see how good these prospect champion level teams are.
Yeah, we see a battle we've all been waiting for. We've seen Gladiators be that number 2 seed, be pretty good down the line, but they are playing Origin, who we all have heard the story, starting out 0-4, finding everyone they needed to pick up to make this run here. And I am so excited to see how this Prospect League game will end up, especially with all the marbles on the line for both these teams.
All the marbles on the line. Season 13 of Nemesis Grand Finals will be back very shortly. We're going to take a small little break, and we will be back with our Prospect League as the Gladiators go up against Origin. So stick around, everybody. You're not going to want to miss that one, and we'll be right back. Deuces.
Running out of time with you, ayy. Fill me up with lies, it's too fake. Her heart is cold like ice. out of place, out of mind like all the time. There's nothing else that feels like it's meant for me. But I've got a sweet escape. Under bright light, illuminate my face. Under bright light, they're shining down on us. Under bright light, illuminate your face. Under bright light, that's when I come alive. Baby, take me higher. I wanna see the whole sky. See the galaxy's reflection in your eyes. There's nothing that compares to this energy. I've got a sweet escape. Under bright light, illuminate my face. Under bright light, they're shining down on us. Under bright light, illuminate your face. Under bright light, that's when I come alive.
He puts it in! 0 seconds remaining!
Both teams are gonna be fighting hard for it.
Oh my goodness! What is this?
Doesn't get the touch he's looking for. Kato, Scott, oh, he gets the flick and he gets it through. Place this heck. He's gonna get the shot. He's gonna put it in. Back to back. On the backward. Can he find the touch? He's gonna put the shot on the net.
High off the backboard here. Opportunity. Here comes the shot.
Is this serious? Hold on. Surely this can. Oh my lord.
Go with the shot. It's gonna go in.
Oh, Palpatine on the goal line. He did not win.
Nearly over.
Sweep. It comes through. The Venom, the improbable, the impossible, the 4-time champions. Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League. I'm Rockerman back in the booth, joined by Aventus. We just saw the Gorgons take the Novice League Championship, a dominating showing from them. A big congratulations to them on taking that one. A huge performance right there from them. And before I continue on, I got to give a couple quick shout outs. Shout out to Beard coming back for 6 months, and also Fort coming back for 25 months. Appreciate the resubs and the hype train that was going on that last matchup. And hopefully, Ventus, we can continue the hype of this matchup because it's slated to be another great one.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams definitely have, had their ups and downs. I think Origin has kind of showed their dominance, especially in the playoffs. They've only dropped one game, and that was to Vipers in the quarterfinals. But Gladiators, I feel like they have had the struggles. They've been having to go the distance. They've been, like, such a good team, and, they were able to take down what I thought was a very, very strong Hypernova squad. And so, super good matchups all around in the Prospect League, and both these teams riding on highs, obviously coming into the grand finals thinking they're gonna take it to give their victory to the org. And they both have such a great story.
Yeah, they really do, making it all the way. Gladiators a dominating performance thus far this season. The playoff hasn't been the run they quite wanted, but they a dominating regular season. They got the job done. That's all you can really ask for to make it to the grand finals. And speaking of these players and these teams, we saw the bracket just a moment ago, and Ventus, I do have the statistics here courtesy of Mealy, and a big shout out to Mealy and Cream, by the way, for Mealy and Jacksoy. Cream has also been streaming big, but Mealy and Jacksoy coming up with the graphics and the videos for the pre-show, and Mealy creating this one. But we can see the stats here. These are the postseason stats for both these teams, and we got some high flying players to look out for in this matchup, Ventus.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that I noticed is Guth. I know that he has been very involved in a lot of the assists during the regular season, but he's kind of taken that more of a striker approach. You see that goals up at 0.85 goals per game, leading his team there. And so he's being relied on more and more as that guy of this team to kind of step up, be the one to be able to finish the opportunities, and as well play that third man role where he's able to get a bunch of those saves. So I'm really looking at him kind of for the side of Gladiators. But then on the other side, right, for the side of Origin, I have Ad Taiso. I know he hasn't necessarily had the best. He's such a striker. 1.2 goals per game is absolutely amazing, especially just in playoffs. But I know that I had him last season in the Nemesis Fantasy League, and he came in clutch last season. I know he's a fantastic player, especially for the Novice League, and he's the player I'm looking at. I know he's gonna have a monster game.
Yeah, we're going to have to see. Last call on the channel point predictions. If you guys want to get your prediction in, only about a minute remaining. We're about to get things firing up here. And yeah, Ventus, we saw the desk predictions here, mostly siding with Origin in this one. So I got to ask you, do you think the Gladiators, are you going to agree with Colson, your buddy Colson here? Do the Gladiators have what it takes here? Or do you think Origin is going to pull this one off here?
I think that I wish I could agree with Colson. I'm going to go with Origin. I think that they've had a much more dominant run throughout the playoffs. I talked about them only losing one game. Overall, they swept the semifinals matchup, and I think that they have just shown their dominance. I think Adtaiso and Vokes especially, I think both those players are so phenomenal and working together, and Slays just kind of rounds them out as kind of the glue player. He kind of facilitates a lot of the offense. He's playing in that midfield area. I feel like this is a very, very well put together team. And I think that because they were able to get so much momentum at the end of the season, especially after that rough start and having to scrap the entire roster, I think that this is kind of their show. I think that they're gonna win. I think it'll be close. I think it's probably gonna be in Game 6 that we'll see. But I just think that this Origin roster has too much momentum.
Yeah, they definitely have some momentum coming in with, two massive wins in the playoffs thus far, but they haven't quite faced a team like the Gladiators yet, so we're going to have to see if the Gladiators can take them down and finish off their great regular season here, as it looks like we have them all joined up here in the lobby, ready to get things going here for the Prospect League Grand Finals. Both teams hot and ready to get things going here, as first kickoff is coming your way here for the Prospect League Grand Finals. We have the Gladiators in the orange tonight with Big Guth, Brittany the Blade, and Virgil. And then we have Origin in the blue with Ad Tyso, Slays, and Vokes here. And I know, Ventus, you mentioned Ad Tyso, want to see a big series from him, but who do you need to see on the Gladiators end to have a big series if they're going to want to take this championship?
Yeah, I think I talked about it a little bit. I think Guth is going to be the guy. I know that he in the regular season was kind of the star player on the team, at least in my opinion. I think that he kind of helps create a lot of the offense for this Gladiator squad, and Brindy as well. I think those two kind of in tandem. Brindy has been there for a lot of the follow-ups, a lot of the goal-scoring opportunities, and kind of just helping out on the offensive side, especially getting some of those nasty demos that nobody necessarily loves to do, but is necessary. As you see a couple early shots coming out from both sides, but neither team really wanting to overcommit.
Yeah, and this is game number 1 of the Grand Finals. Obviously, nerves are on the line here. This is the biggest game and biggest series these players have played all season long, and they all know that the entire season has come down to this, a championship on the line for everyone involved here, trying to close it out as this one is fired back middle. Big opportunity, but Gladiators not quite ready for that one as Slays clears it off the ball. Follow-up attempt, looking for the shot there, but just a little bit wide. Can't quite find it down. Virgil is going to take this offense, throwing it off the backboard. Slays jumping up for it. He's going to push it out, but Brindy is cutting that off. Long time, the Nemesis veteran, and there are a lot of Nemesis veterans. I think 5 out of the 6 are pretty long-term Nemesis veterans, Ventus. And how do you think that could factor into this series?
I think that it kind of makes them much more confident in themselves, especially early on. We see a lot of teams, especially with new players, struggle early in series and kind of going down early because it's the nerves, and they're not used to playing in front of so many people, so much on the line, so much at stake. And so for all these veterans to be in here, we see that there isn't really that pressures. Vokes might actually get a goal here as it's stopped right on the crossbar, and that one gonna find its way off, but it's still threatening as Slays finishing this one, and it looks like neither team really ready to back down. Both these teams, all of the veterans doing their part. I think that it makes for better content on our side. I think that we don't have to worry about as many mistakes coming out, and some big demos for Origin gonna open the way here.
Yeah, and that is kind of what we saw from Origin throughout the playoffs. There is some big demos, some big bumps to open up some space, and the Gladiators had some great offense, really suffocated Origin early on. Origin were finally able to break through, and they are the ones with the first goal here. The Season 13 Prospect League Grand Finals. Now it's up to Gladiators to try to find an answer back as Big Guth gonna take this one up, looking for something else, but just gonna find a pinch down into the corner, gonna find a bump there. Anti-So gonna get beat out here. This one, big opportunity. The fake coming through, but Slays is able to get a touch there, able to send this one up high. Gonna bang it a long way towards the net. Vokes is trying to reach out for it, and a big save coming through off the crossbar. Big Guth, just enough time to put it away, but the net is wide open. The ball is dropping down. Can't quite find the shot. Slays, he had the opportunity. Still following up their Origin. They're trying to put on the pressure there, but they can't quite close the door there as big save, a big miss there on both sides there, Ventus, and the score still stays at 1-0.
Yeah, unfortunately, Slays kind of jumped a little bit early, not ready, expecting the bounce off the backboard, and that one very disastrous. You would love to have a 2-0 lead in this game, number 1, kind of not seal the deal, but give you a little bit more of a buffer. This team of Origin has kind of been in the driver's seat. They've been on the offensive side of the ball and had a lot of midfield pressure throughout this game, so I'm not too worried about them long term. Obviously, you would love to have that little bit of a buffer, but with the way they're playing, they're keeping the Gladiators pretty much stuck in their half. The Gladiators haven't gotten a single shot all game yet, and they're kind of just forced to play defense. They've been doing very well and keeping a lot of the pressure out, but we've started to see the cracks show on the offense. Origin has put up some really good opportunities, and luckily, Guth is there to make a crazy save, and Virgil has been back in time to cover for a couple missed clears from this Gladiator squad.
Yeah, they've been able to hold on, but yeah, like you mentioned, without any shots here, you're not going to be putting yourselves in good opportunities to put a goal in the back of the net here. Now, final 40 seconds here. The Gladiators trying to turn it on here, but Virgil a little bit overcommitted there. Vokes is an opportunity, but Brindy, he's back in time. He would have locked that one up there. Going to get over the top of one. As now Vokes looking to take control of that one. Is going to be sent back down. Vokes again looking to try to find the follow there, but Big Guth over the top of one. Slays playing patient. Anti-So going to make the turn. Going to get over the top, but demoed for his efforts. Is this opportunity here? Brindy faking it out. Trying to fake a second one, but Vokes is going to deny it away. Final 10 seconds now for Gladiators. Can they find a shot towards the goal here? This one off the corner, going towards the backboard. Slays is going to clear that one away. Ball dropping out. Virgil trying to find something off the backboard again. Can they find the shot? It's going to hit off. They're not going to be able to get it on target there. And Origin going to hold on and take game number 1.
Yeah, and you said that perfectly. Held on to the very end. We saw a lot of good opportunities from Gladiators, and even though they didn't get any shots for all those efforts, we saw them basically keeping Origin into their own net for the last 40 seconds there. They had a lot of pressure. They had a really good midfield line where they're allowing the clears to come through, just collecting the free balls, and then taking them back to create another attack. Origin doing really well to stave that pressure off and kind of hold on to the very end. But the Gladiators finally started to look at breaking out, and I think that they're going to continue it in this next game.
Yeah, I mean, they did look like they had pressure, and I was very surprised, Ventus, to see that they ended up with 0 shots in that game, especially with the pressure they had early on, and even a couple of attempts at the very end there. Didn't quite have, a shot on target or a shot registered there, but, if they were able to channel what they had in that last 30 seconds, Ventus, I think they could come out here with a big first goal, and that's got to be on their minds here heading into game 2.
Yeah, and I really think it's going to be between Brindy and Guth. I know that towards the end there, they held the midfield really well. They had a lot of pressure, but as I say that, disaster strikes as a kickoff goal comes through. Origin are going to take the lead once again. A good kickoff there, hard cheat from Slays, going to get the beat around the last man. And unfortunately for Gladiators, it's not what you want to see. You were starting to get on the right foot. You were starting to get a lot of pressure. Brindy was playing really aggressive in the Origin half. Guth was getting a lot of those big clears and turning them into counterattacks. And so, unfortunately, all of that presence and all that momentum gets stolen away from you off of a kickoff goal. And, I might have been fallen victim in the semifinals to a couple of those as well. And let me tell you, they are so frustrating to have to deal with, constantly having to deal with being down. This roster is going to have to work much harder now to just get back into this game. You don't want to start down early.
You don't, and Big Guth, he's trying to bring it back there, and the Gladiators going to find their first one of the series. A great pass by Brindy the Blade over the top, and Big Guth right there. And the Gladiators are going to make their way onto the scoreboard here in that game number 2. But I agree with you, being down can really hurt your mental here. It's good to see the Gladiators finally break through and put that one in the back of the net. Now is Vokes going to 50 this one out in the midfield. Anti-So going to collect it, trying to 50 underneath there, but this one just going to be pushed to the corner. Virgil finding a touch. This ball going to drop out in the midfield. A big miss comes through. Anti-So with a shot opportunity. Bar down. It's not going to find its way in. That one, a huge chance there, but not going to find it. Now the Gladiators on the counterattack. 50 going to come through in the corner. Ball popping up. Origin trying to clear that one out there. But Gladiators going to keep it around as Slays going to get it by one. Brindy, he's looking for the bump on Vokes, trying to get it. Anti-So he's going to help him out to push that one away for now. But a couple of close chances here, Ventus, for both those teams. This one might be a chance here, but going to be picked up by Brindy the Blade, who's taking his time, trying to get it by Anti-So, but it's going to be pushed off to the corner.
Yeah, and this Gladiator squad did not miss a beat from this last game, even though they gave up that kickoff goal, which is extremely infuriating. They have done very well to play much faster. They're playing much more aggressive. they're making a little bit more mistakes as well, but it comes as part of the trying to outspeed, trying to play so aggressive and keep those rotations up, trying to get a lot more pressure on this Origin squad. There are going to be a little bit more lapses where they're able to kind of be susceptible to counterattacks, but so has Origin. We've seen a couple counterattacks where Brindy almost had a shot, and this is almost a shot too, and that one is actually going to find the back of the net right around the back of Adtai. So a great shot there from Virgil. Maybe a little bit of a leave there in the corner from Guth. Gets a little bit of a touch, beating out Slays. Slays has to kind of rotate back, and I mean, a great play from the Gladiators. They tack another one onto their score, and they look to continue that as another air dribble kind of coming out here from Brindy, but that one going to be saved away.
And their first lead here of this series. Gonna find it here in game number 2. Trying to tie this series up. A big miss comes out in front. Virgil gonna get to that one, but Slays with a great denial away here as Origin can't quite break out here. Gladiators gonna grab that boost, gonna keep that ball in the zone here. Adtaiso looking to try to take one out there, but it's just sent back in towards the net. Slays and Evokes double commit on the backboard. Could be a big opportunity, but Gladiators can't quite find it off there. Is this one over the top of Brindy, off the corner, the ball is racing towards the net, and Vokes and Adtaiso are diving 2-on-1 to tie this game up.
Yeah, and Guth gets a little bit greedy for that boost there. You see him going for the corner. He can't get it. Kind of misses it as well. Would have thought that if he had gotten that boost, he would have been able to get the clear away. But Origin, smelling blood in the water, were circling. They were waiting to pounce, and they, even if they double commit, they put it in the back of the net. They were able to take that chance and turn it into a goal. A great shot there, a good dunk from this Origin squad, and they've kind of answered back. I mean, they kind of got that early kickoff goal. They kind of were getting shut out for a big part of this game, but it seems like they have also woken up. They've started playing faster. We're seeing both these levels elevate. Both of these teams are playing faster, more consistent. They're getting better touches. They're forcing out better and better saves from both these teams, and we see another great save there from Virgil's Adtide, so continues to threaten the net.
Yeah, that was a massive save from Virgil. He was ready and able to make that save, and Gladiators good on the defensive end here, able to hold off. The Slays trying to send it back, looking for another one, but can't quite find it. This one's sent down. Folks gonna pop it up, pushing it back in the Gladiators' end. This one, Virgil can't find that touch. This one shot towards the net. Slays trying to place it in. Big Guth just enough to get that touch off to the side. Close opportunity here as we're now down to a minute remaining in game number 2. This one over the top of Vokes. He pushed out there, but a shot attempt towards the net. It's just a little bit high for Big Guth. This one dropped down. Brindy trying to come through, but denied away by the Origin defense. We're trying to hold this one off there. This ball popping out in the midfield. A pinch comes through. It's just off target, though. Can't quite find it on. Aventus final 40 seconds here for both these teams. Tied up here. Trying to see if they can find one more before overtime.
Yeah, both these teams have been playing so well. You see so many great plays coming out. Another pass option as Vokes amazingly cutting that one off. I think that his positioning there is absolutely phenomenal, being able to put himself in between that second man and shooter of the Gladiators and be able to kind of make any save on net as well. Origin playing very well together. They've tightened up on defense a lot. I was a little bit worried towards the beginning half of this game, but they have done amazingly. And with the clock ticking down, it looks like we might see overtime. But as I say that, folks, shot, the bump coming through from Slade's Guth, trying to turn this into a counterattack. Hey, he has Virgil shot, but that one hits the ground, and we have overtime in absolutely tragic fashion.
Oh, that one is so close there for the Gladiators. They almost found the game winner at 0 seconds, but the ball has to stay up in the air for them to do it. As this one sent back towards the net. Origin, a little bit awkward. Is a dangerous ball. Slays, he's going to pinch that one out there as the Gladiators now looking to try to find an attack in our first overtime of the series. This one off the backboard. Vokes trying to get up. He's going to send it out a long way. Virgil is there, but that one over the top of him. The net is open, and Adtaiso, the captain, gonna finish it off in Origin. Gonna go up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just a great beat from Slays there, recognizing Virgil, committing as last man back. Virgil on a little bit of an island. It seems like a little bit too aggressive from the Gladiators, trying to spark that aggression that they had when they almost scored at 0 seconds. absolutely devastation, as well as, they just had made a crazy save at 0 seconds and turned it into an immediate counterattack, hoping that they could see the results. But Origin are going to take game number 2 and inch them just that one bit closer to trying to lift that grand finals trophy.
Yeah, they are able to get the first 2 wins here, and Juventus, now we got to look towards those Gladiators to see if they're going to opt to use the tactical timeout, and so far it doesn't seem like they're gonna do so here. Maybe just talking it over. I mean, it was a very close game, and it's only a 2-0 deficit here, Ventus, but would you call the timeout here down 2-0 in the grand finals?
It's rough. Usually my say is, one, if we get beat really bad in a game, I'm taking the timeout, which I can't say that happened. I feel like this is a super close game. Both these teams are so evenly matched. It came down to the wire, and just unfortunately that 0-second miss was really the difference maker of the game. So they didn't lose by a bunch, and they are down 0-2, but because it was such a close game, I felt like they could be or were the better team in that game as well. I feel like they played a better game. I thought that they had a lot more pressure throughout the game, and they didn't make as many mistakes. As you see another double commit coming up from Origin. But unfortunately, the kickoff goal early was really a big factor, as it kind of gave Origin another leg up. And so I think it was the right decision not to call their timeout, because I think that they'll come out really aggressive in this one, and then they still have the timeout if they go down another one. But you really want to take a game back without having to use your timeout, so you have an extra little buffer. You have that extra reset that you need, and unfortunately they might not be able to use it if this Origin roster continues to be so dominant on their half.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great save again from Virgil. It seems like he's been huge on the defensive end as the net is open here, but this one, Anti-So just able to get back in time. Gladiators almost had an opportunity, an angle, snipe from Brindy, but not quite able to get it past the defense here. But this is a big game here for the Gladiators. A big miss on the backboard. Here comes Virgil for the shot there, capitalizing on the mistake. And the Gladiators are going to be the ones striking first.
Yeah, and that's such a tough backboard read for Slays there. And unfortunately, he has to go for it. He doesn't get it. Virgil's there waiting, lying in wait. And then the miss comes through. He's able to get a free shot on target. Does well to put it around him as well. Slays got back in time trying to put a hand up, but unfortunately, the shot was just around him, so he couldn't do much about that. Gladiators are going to be able to take the lead, and I thought that it was the right decision that they didn't necessarily need to use their timeout just yet. I thought that oh my god, as that one, I thought that one was on target, but unfortunately just a little bit high with the team pinch coming through, trying to help extend the lead. But this one, it is dangerous, as Brindy having to make that save, a very difficult touch as well. And the clear comes through once again, but Gladiators, so far proving me right that they didn't need that timeout.
Oh, this is a great touch there from Virgil to put it on the net. Origin could not get back to it. Virgil off the backboard to Gup, and then Slays, he was there for it, but he wasn't ready for Virgil's touch there. A great shot on the net, and the Gladiators clapping back here in this game number 3. Now up 2-0, and they're trying to add to it as Brindy sends this one back at Anti-So. Off the backboard, this one dropping down Virgil up in the midfield there. Guth trying to get to it there, but only going to get to the corner, but he is going to snag that boost and open up a little bit of space for his team as he's trying to pass it down to a teammate. This one drop down, Anti-So sending this one a long way. Virgil has to make the touch, able to get that one off the backboard there, as Slays sending this one high off the backboard. Vokes and Slays both there for the follow, double commit. Again, it comes through from Origin there as we get to the halfway point here. And the Gladiators are looking solid so far in this game number 3, trying to bring back this series to a 2-1.
Yeah, and I knew that Guth would be the one to kind of step up and be that facilitator. You see the 2 assists this game. But the one thing I was kind of surprised by is Virgil has really taken that follow up, and he's been the shooter for this squad. And that's something that usually I'd see Brindy kind of playing that role. I know that he's there and has capitalized a lot in the regular season off these passes from a big Guth, and so it's a little bit of a different dynamic than what I'm used to seeing from this Gladiators squad, and maybe that might change up the dynamic. They might be going back to Old Faithful, but I love that they're trying new things. I love that Virgil's playing more aggressive. You see the cut there in the midfield as well, becoming an outlet option for Guth, just being aggressive, being in the rotation, being available, so that they have these counterattacks, so that they have these good attack options. And I thought it was going to be Brindy, but Virgil has really stepped up in this game.
Yeah, no, he really has. And, this is the grand finals. You got to step up with your season on the line, the championship on the line. And so far, Virgil has been big in this game number 3 for his team. The only non-Nemesis veteran in this one, as this one's popped up towards the net there. Slays going to clear this one off to the side. Is now 1:15 remaining. Gladiators just got to hold on to this one. They'll be able to bring this series within 1, but Origin going to try to get on the attack. Virgil with a great cutoff in the midfield. This one off the backboard, dropping out. Brindy's coming through, but Slays cuts him off. Able to get that one out to Vokes, because now they're trying to turn on the attack. This one off the backboard. Big Guff going to get that clear. It's Brindy now taking control. Brindy looking for something there, trying to flip it down underneath. That one going to pinch off Slays, but back to Guth, who's going to grab that one and keep things going here, as Gladiators happy to waste away the time. This one off the backboard. Nice touch by Brindy. Able to send it out there. And Slays dropping this one down. Virgil with a shot opportunity. The net is open, but they can't find him. But Brindy can. He puts it in. And it's 3-0 Gladiators here, looking poised to take game 3.
Yeah, and a good comeback. You see the Origin roster just feeling a little bit of pressure. Vokes trying to go and get greedy, get that corner boost, but with another demo in the back line of the Origin squad, the Gladiators just taking advantage of that 2-on-1, getting the beat on the last man, taking advantage of the player going for boost and getting a free shot. And, it might not have been on target the first time, but the follow-up is there, and they're able to get a 3-goal lead with 20 seconds left. I have to say this is Gladiators game to lose. We don't really see too many crazy things happening, but I might be the curse of all curses, is we might start to see a comeback here. 13 seconds is doable. You have to have crazy things happen. Usually I'm used to seeing on Forbidden Temple, but maybe we're just starting off things early.
It may be here. 13 seconds left for Origin. They got to try to find 2. Going to be big on this kickoff. Gladiators just need something simple. Guth is trying to get it. This one, send it back towards the net the other way, and the kickoff shenanigans go the opposite direction. Brindy the Blade gonna put that one in and all but ice this game.
Yeah, and you see a kickoff strat going for the mid boost, really aggressive from Origin. I love it, right? I think that it's exactly what they needed. Unfortunately, right? They concede, but they were aggressive. They were trying to get the equalizer. Well, not equalizer, but they were trying to put themselves closer to being able to tie it. You only have 13 seconds left. It's do or die. It's go all in, and unfortunately it didn't work out for them this game. But Gladiators, a very strong showing. I thought that they did really well. The defense was really clean. They were able to do a lot of counterattacks, and obviously I talked about Virgil stepping up big time. You see him there with 2 goals. Brindy actually added 2 goals of his own, one off that kickoff goal, and then Guth, man, that those 3 assists really helping out, really facilitating the offense, being a big driver and why the Gladiators were able to do so well. I think that Guth was very good. He was able to stop the Origin attacks. He was able to turn those into possession plays where he was able to flick it off the backboard, pass it in the midfield for his teammates, and just really create some really good goal-scoring opportunities. So Gladiators, big step in the right direction. They took the game. It was really close in game 2. It could have gone either way. But they didn't have to use their timeout, and I think that's the biggest thing, that the biggest takeaway from that is they're able to come back without taking that timeout.
Yeah, that's crucial. And like you mentioned earlier too, now they have it in their back pocket should they need it if they drop another game here. So we're going to have to see Juventus as we dive into this next game here, as we're into game number 4 between these 2 teams. Origin 2-1 in the series here. Gladiators trying to tie this series up here, as this one sent up high towards the midfield. Adtaiso looking to find it, but it's going to be blocked off there, as the Gladiators looking to try to find this counterattack. The ball out in the midfield. Shot attempt. Going to ring off the post. The ball is still there. A big opportunity for Brindy the Blade. He's trying to get it. Slays. He can't come in and out. And it's going to be Brindy striking first.
The changeup works sometimes. It throws off Slays going for that squishy save. Brindy, no boost, no problems, as I like to say, as he just kind of puts a floater on target. Slays trying to just recover, trying to cover as much of that as possible, isn't able to find that little bit of space, and Gladiators take another early lead. They've started to kind of take the forefront of this game's. Origin in game 1 took the early lead, game 2 took the early lead, but now you see the shift, now you see the momentum swing as Gladiators starting to get more aggressive. They started to kind of figure out this Origin squad. Origin Gonna have to change up some things. Maybe some more demos are in their future. You see Vokes getting a demo there, kind of just eliminating the Gladiators. Another demo as well. Maybe they're listening to this stream and they just, took it to heart as they had a goal scoring opportunity at Tyso, wasn't able to get that read in Origin. Gonna have to switch some things up. I think the Gladiators might have gotten their number. They need to play maybe more aggressive. Maybe the demos, like I said, are going to come through. And, maybe that's exactly what's going to happen. Is Vokes, 3 demos almost in the matter of 15 seconds, opens the path. No boost anywhere on the map for this Gladiator squad. And Slays, all he's got to do is put that one on target.
Yeah, that was some big demos, and you saw an unfortunate team bump in the corner there because of the boost starve. These players not able to get out of their own way. And unfortunately for the Gladiators, they concede here as Origin really found that pressure. Able to tie things up as this one's dropping down. Gladiators looking to counterattack back. This one off the wall. Big Guth, last man back. It's a 2-on-1 opportunity there. The ball can be popped up really high. Slays, not a lot of boost. Gonna have to wait back for this one. It's just shot towards net. It's a dangerous ball. Bar down and in. Virgil with a big snipe from the midfield.
Yeah, that's just... It's tough. Slays, 0 boost. Vokes, really awkward last back. That one bar down. Beautifully shot, though, by Virgil in that midfield. And I think that this Gladiator squad, they're ramping up. They're looking scary is all I can say. I think that they have been playing really well. I think that all 3 of these guys have stepped up. Virgil especially. I wasn't necessarily aware of Virgil's game, and in the first couple games he was a little bit quiet, but this game and last game he's all over the place. He's playing super aggressive. The nerves have finally calmed down, as that rookie. The veteran presence of Guth and Brindy kind of helping him out for those first 2 games, keeping it close. But man, he started to shine. I think that this has kind of been their time. And, maybe as I say that, they're just going to get a kickoff goal in their own net. But I think that it still stands. Gladiators, they're looking really good. They're looking really dangerous.
Yeah, they are, and unfortunately a kickoff goal goes the opposite way, but besides that, they have been looking fantastic in this game. Number 4, 3 quick goals, giving them the lead here by 1. As now Origin once again find themselves on the back foot here, trying to bring this one up. So on the dunk there, gonna send that one through. Brindy is going for that one. He's over the top of one. It's 1-on-1, him versus Vokes. Well, the demo comes through. So bailing out his teammate on the backside there as Virgil, offensive force, looking to continue things. So sending that one down to Guth, taking control, throwing that one in the corner, find another touch. Slays, he's gonna get a touch on this one, but it's sent back down. Is that one on target? Not quite. That one, another big opportunity, but here comes Virgil, looking to drop that one down. Can't quite find his teammate though, as So sends it back in. Guth gonna find a touch. That one blocked off by Brindy. Brindy waiting for this touch from Vokes. This one drops down in the midfield. It's a dangerous ball there. So tried to go for it, but wasn't quite able to reach it. As Slays now up. No one finding the touch there. Vokes just sends it back. Just Brindy back. Able to make that touch there. Vokes now off the wall. Another demo coming through from Origin as they try to open up this space here. This one still going to stay popped up in the midfield. Guth going to send it back in. So pushing it out. Looking to find something. Looking to find a teammate. That one comes across there. Guth taking it up in the air. What does Guth have? He's looking for something there, but it's going to be blocked away just in time by Slays here. And So he sends it down. Is there a follow-up attempt? Slays is trying to find the touch. He's trying to pinch it in, but that one is not going to find its way through. And both these teams here in this one, Aventus, are getting really aggressive as the Gladiators might have found one here, and they do.
Yeah, unfortunately, the counterattacks can force you out so much. The aggression that you have trying to get these counterattacks overextend you a lot of the time, and Slay's not able to get back as last man. And Gladiators are going to take that 4-2 lead. And Origin, I loved their aggressive play when they had Vokes kind of detached from the rotation, going for these bumps, going for these boost steals, and kind of just being an absolute menace, kind of cherry picking as well, and just allowing or So and Slays to play in like a 2v2. And So this time gonna get a demo. They open up the scoring. Vokes looking for the demos as well, forcing Virgil awkwardly to jump. And that is a great play. Origin falling back on what they found success with, and I was gonna say that's exactly what they needed to do. They need to go for more of those demo and bump plays. It's worked out really well for them. It's thrown Gladiators off their game, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And so I think that in order for Origin to succeed, they kind of have to play a little bit differently. But Virgil is gonna be there for this one, and some back and forth goals being scored, as unfortunately an amazing save is absolutely not going to be enough.
Yeah, that save is going to be wiped off the map there with the follow-up from Virgil, and the Gladiators again. They just find a way to get this pressure back here. Origin, they've been really aggressive, and the Gladiators have been able to capitalize on that throughout the last 2 games of this series as they look to tie this series up at 2 apiece here. Lokes now setting this one up high, looking to stay with it, trying to find a 50, gonna drop it down, but Guth gonna find that touch. Adtaiso jumping, gonna get that one, looking to find a touch. He's trying to get it across, but just enough on that connection there to deny the goal attempt. There's Brindy sending this one towards the net. It's dangerous, and Slays just able to get up to it, using a little bit of boost to grab it. The Gladiators again, just poised to hold on, but might be able to find one more as this one is going to go off the backboard there. This touch comes through, though. Here comes Brindy looking for the shot there. He's going to put it in, and Gladiators up 6-3 now. Another big mistake, and the Gladiators are right there to capitalize.
Yeah, and Adtaiso holding his flip, trying to get the touch, is just not able to. Very awkward. I mean, Guth had a great play there where he's able to get a follow-up kind of dunk touch on that ball, keeping it in the midfield, putting it really awkward for Adtaiso. But Adtaiso is going to make that up for himself there. He's going to get the demo. He's going to get the flick over 1. Origin going to put themselves back within 2. And this is such a high-scoring game. There's absolutely no defense being played on either side, really. I think that both these teams are just willing to kind of stand in the ring and just start throwing haymakers at each other, seeing who falls first. And Gladiators seem to be ahead right now, but neither team has gone out just yet. Both these teams looking to continue. As Brindy looking for a shot, that one off the mark, though, is that one just a little bit wide. Slays has a counterattack, looking for the bump, looking for the air dribble bump, and he's gonna get it. And it looks like Gladiators were going to be able to get the save there, as Brindy looked like he had dodged the bump, but unfortunately it was just too well placed. The bump basically does the job that it needed to. Origin going to put themselves within 1. 15 seconds left. Origin, they're trying to close the distance. They're trying to play aggressive. It's worked out for them. It's also caused them panic. And another couple of demos. This is going to be tough as the clock winding down. 5 seconds. Slays looking for a touch. He's going to try to get the follow-up into the middle. Guth is there. The clear comes through and Adtaiso not going to be able to keep that one up. Origin, we're so close to tying this one up. But Gladiators this time holding on. The lead that they had in the middle of the game was just too wide. The 3-goal deficit proved too much in 10 demos for the side of Origin, lighting up the side of the Gladiators half with absolute destruction. But unfortunately, little bit too late. The defense proved a little bit too lackluster in this game.
Yeah, no, like you said, the defense wasn't really played by either side in that one. I mean, just an absolute shot fest there from both teams. 22 shots ringing out for both teams. The demos coming through, 12 demos total. So really just, like you mentioned, it's a high heavyweight fight here, and both these teams have been landing their punches, but it's been the Gladiators in the last 2 games that have really landed their punches, and now a big game on Origin here to try to seize back the momentum. They may have had a little bit at the end of that game number 4, but heading to game number 5, Ventus, this is do or die time now. We've got guaranteed Forbidden Temple, and whoever wins this one is going to put themselves 1 win away from a championship.
You know, and I love this. Neither team calling a timeout either. I was thinking maybe Origin calls a timeout, but they did keep it very close. I mean, they were within 1 goal. They had a lot of momentum at the end, and Adtaiso gonna pick up right where he left off, getting an early goal for Origin, getting that boost, getting the beat on Brindy. Brindy trying to pre-jump ceiling, but Adtaiso just puts it around him. He says, "Oh, you pre-jump ceiling? There's nobody else in net. I'm just gonna put it on target and see what happens." Origin gonna go up early, and you know, I felt like there's a little bit of a momentum swing from this Origin squad. It seems like they had turned a corner. It seems like they had found out how to kind of break down this Gladiators defense, and they look to do it again. But, you know, it's really been the defense of Origin making crucial mistakes, really poorly timed mistakes, as well as it turns into a lot of goals for this Gladiator squad. They have just been able to counterattack and capitalize. As another great bump and a miss there from Adtaiso, and that one's just gonna float in the back of the net. Big Guth with a big bump there on the back wall, but another mistouch from the Origin squad, allowing Gladiators to tie this one up.
Yeah, the Gladiators able to bounce back there. That's a big play from Big Guth. Able to put that one in the back of the net there. He's getting credit for that one. And Gladiators come roaring back, able to tie things up here, as this is a big opportunity for Slays, but can't quite get it on target there. And a crucial game number 5 here for both these two teams. Brindy now gonna send it back down into the corner. Origin racing back. Brindy looking to set this one up, folks. He's gonna pop it up high. Ad Tyso to be the first one jumping to it. Trying to find another follow. Can't quite get that touch though. This one off the corner. Slays is Ad Tyso, harassing in the net there. And Slays tried to put it in as this one up to Ad Tyso. Trying to drop it back down. Looking for that pass, but not quite going to get on target. As Slays with an opportunity, but Virgil is able to get back in time as, again, Origin trying to find those demos. But it's going to be pushed back here. And this one sent up in the midfield now. Ball up high. Brindy is jumping. Slays going to meet him at the apex there. Not quite able to get in on target here as Origin off the backboard. Follow-up attempt is denied away. Great defense yet again from Virgil. And, you know, Ventus, even despite all these demos, the Gladiators just find a way to get that clutch last-second touch on the goal line.
Yeah, they've done really well to, even with 0 boost, they're still putting up a good challenge and a good force, and they've been able to get long clears that have kind of slowed the attack down of Origin as we see more and more bumps coming through. They've also been doing really well at dodging bumps, even though we've seen a lot of demos coming through. A great shot, but a crazy save there. Pinch off the post. The Gladiators have been playing very good dodge defense. And even though Origin's still getting a lot of these demos, they're still, you know, a little bit questionable. They're still making a lot of mistakes. They're still playing so aggressive that they're allowing these counterattacks to happen. Gladiators have just kind of been buying their time, waiting for these to come out, and then just pouncing on the opportunities. Brindy looking for a shot. Big Gut, though, the follow-up, that one on target, top corner, and Origin are gonna go down once again. Gladiators, for the 3rd game in a row, are gonna take the lead in this, take the lead now in the series, coming back from an 0-2 deficit. They're in the lead right now, half the game remaining on the dot, and Big Guth turning into the shooter. Virgil kind of being that playmaker specialist that we've seen Guth kind of take the role of. And, you know, this Origin squad has done really well on the offensive side of the ball, but it seems like the counterattacks have been proving too much. It seems like their rotations have not been very clean on defense, and a couple mistouches as well have allowed Gladiators just pick and prod at the net as another shot coming through.
Yeah, and the Origin aggression is becoming over-aggression right now, as what's worked in the first couple rounds isn't quite working here, as the Gladiators have adapted perfectly to this play style, able to battle back and now take the lead here, as now the Gladiators sending this one back down, folks. Gonna have to make that touch to the corner. He's gonna find it. As this one pinched high off the backboard. Follow-up attempt there. Slays gonna send it down to Ad Tyso, who's shooting it towards the net. A fast shot, but Virgil, the Gladiators, able to make it back as Virgil with good control. He's got a teammate over the top, but Vokes is gonna send it. Slays, he's hunting, trying to find a bump there, but can't quite get it down, as this one is popped up high. Brindy is gonna make that touch out in the midfield. This one popped up high. Slays, not a lot of boost to get to this one. Not gonna find that touch there. This one into the corner. Slays looking for the redirect off the backboard. Follow-up attempt. Big Guth is gonna find that one. A big 50 from Big Guth as this one is sent off to the corner here. And now, with 1:10 remaining here, Ventus Origin are the ones that gotta battle back. The Gladiators have had their number here, and they need to find a goal if they're gonna want to try to force overtime.
Yeah, and I think the Gladiators have done so well of just relieving pressure. I think that Origin is really panicked right now. I think they need a couple plays where they just maintain possession, keep the boost, kind of get some of the pads in the midfield as well, look for the outlet passes for the clears, so they're able to get some offense going, because with 40 seconds left, you know, you really gotta get some aggression going, and they've been really aggressive, but unfortunately it's kind of been too aggressive as they've started to make mistakes from trying to play too fast. And so they just kind of need to go back to their game. They need to not force opportunities. They just need to let them come to them and utilize them to the best of their abilities. But unfortunately, Gladiators are playing absolutely stellar right now. Origin are going to have to pull out some crazy plays in order to do so. And Ad Tyso looking to do just that. A pinch, though, going to be off target. I thought that one was going to be the play to put them back in. But with 10 seconds left, Slays trying to pop this one around, gets dunked. This one might even be on target, but no, Voke's gonna clear this one high. this one in the Origin half. 0 seconds, and Big Guth just gonna let that one drop. Gladiators start down 0-2, turn it back to a 3-2 lead. And, I mean, match point, it seems like Origin seem a little bit lost. It seems like they've been making just too many mistakes for this Gladiators roster to capitalize, and Adtaiso gonna call the timeout there for Origin.
Yeah, Origin gonna need that timeout to talk things over as the Gladiators just kind of turn things around and just kind of punched them in the mouth here. And Ventus now, as we head towards game number 6, the Gladiators find themselves 1 win away from the championship, and now it's up to Origin. How do you find a way back here, Ventus? You kind of been knocked down here. You had the first punch, but the Gladiators got back up, and now they got to try to find a way to battle back.
You know, it's really tough. I think that a lot of what Origin is doing is very good. I love the aggressive demos. I love that they are, you know, putting a lot of pressure on this Gladiators defense, but I feel like the one thing they're missing is I don't feel like they've really had many infield passes or changing it up like that. They haven't really taken possession, slowed the play down, changed the pace of play so that you can kind of slow the play down, catch it, go for an air dribble or flick it, offload the ball to your teammate, and then you have a really good opportunity. I feel like a lot of it has been kind of one-dimensional offense, and that's what I think Gladiators have been able to shut it down. We haven't seen much variance. We haven't seen many solo plays or possession plays where they're forcing players out of the net of Gladiators, baiting them in and getting the beats early so they have a lot more space to work with. Right now they're just kind of putting a shot on net. They save, goes to the corner. Another shot on net, save to the corner. And it's not really much of consistent pressure. I think that by taking possession more frequently and utilizing your teammates more, you become such a more dangerous team. Vokes is doing really well getting these demos. Adtaiso is also getting a lot of demos, but it just seems like they're not really using each other besides that.
Yeah, no, they really need to find each other here in this game number 6. This is their season on the line here, and they're gonna have to try to find a way to make it happen here. As it looks like we're gonna be joining up here for this game number 6 here, and Gladiators 1 win away from the championship. Origin trying to force a game number 7 here. It's Rana Forbidden Temple, home of the craziness and chaos in the Nemesis Gaming League. We'll see what it has in store for us here in the Prospect League Grand Finals. This one dropping down, folks. Gonna block that one in the corner. Bringing the blade now. Gonna take some control here. Big 50 gonna come through. Adtaiso finding that touch, looking to drop it down. He finds a 50. As this one pop back up there. A bump attempt coming through on the net, but it's not gonna be on target. It's gonna be saved away there. A huge opportunity for Origin there with the bump, but they're still on the attack. The ball is coming right back down to the midfield, but no one can put it on target there. It's gonna be cleared away there. A couple of great opportunities early on there, Ventus, for Origin, but they can't find the back of the net.
You know, they're so willing to go for these bumps that they're just completely leaving the ball. But speaking of leaving the ball, Big Guth not going to find the touch and leaving it for Adtaiso to come through. Origin finally going to break through, but this time it's on a mistake from the Gladiators, something we have not seen that much, especially in that 3-game stretch where they have been able to take each individual game. Origin waiting and biding their time, waiting for those mistakes to come through, and finally it happens. They're able to capitalize, but you see, you talked about the follow-ups not being there for this Origin squad. I feel like they've been so willing to go for these bumps that they're completely negating the fact that they also need to make a play on the ball. And so Origin just kind of, the follow-ups not being there, and going for these aggressive bumps has basically allowed Gladiators a free clear each time, and it hasn't been super threatening. So if there's better follow-up, if there's more communication earlier on this Origin squad, the bumps become so much more threatening. But as I say that, a floater coming through bar, going to be saved by Vokes, though, as this one off the backboard. Guth looking for a shot, but once again, cleared away by this Origin squad.
Yeah, now the Gladiators trying to answer back here. They've got some good sustained pressure. Origin trying to break out of their end here, but the Gladiators are still on it. This one thrown off the backboard by Brindy. Adtaiso looking to push this one out and might have an opportunity to do so. Here comes Slays. He's looking to go up. He finds a 50 down in the midfield. Adtaiso looking to turn it back on. Gladiators able to clear it away as Slays is hunting for the demo there. A bump comes through. This one still popped up over the top. Great opportunity. That one off the bar. It's going to be pushed off there. The Gladiators almost found that one through, but not quite meant to be there. as this one is still going to stick around in the Origin end. Anti-So is going to send it a long way. Brindy is going to find that one, a big 50 coming out to Vokes, who's taking the shot towards the net. Big Guth, no boost, trying to get to that one. Another big miss, a bump attempt, but Virgil is going to get back there, able to push it away, and now another counterattack attempt. He's got Brindy there. He's just going to take the shot, and Virgil over the top. He somehow gets that one in to tie this game up.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you just saw both players, Vokes and Slays, kind of just leave the ball, trying to go for bumps on this Gladiator squad, leaving Anti-So in a 2v1. And, I mean, unfortunately, there's a little bit of an own goal coming through from the side of Origin, and just trying to get back, make a play, trying to cut off the pass. Because of that 2v1, it's such a dangerous position that I believe Vokes was rushing back, tried to get a touch or a bump or a demo on that shooter. And unfortunately, even though the Gladiators didn't make contact with the pass, the own goal coming through from Origin helped seal the fate of the goal. And, you know, it's once again, Origin playing way too bump heavy, way too aggressive, that they're just leaving so many opportunities open, like just there, as Brindy having to try to get that one, but Slays was able to respawn in time off of his double demo where he demoed a player, demoed himself. Luckily was able to kind of ender pearl back to his side and get the clear in time, but Gladiators, man, they're just waiting for that to happen. They're waiting for them to go for these bumps, getting the follow-up, and just kind of capitalizing, using the counterattacks to the best of their abilities, and Origin is just falling for it. Very reminiscent of the previous 3 games. Origin gonna have to play a lot cleaner if they want to force a Game 7.
Yeah, gonna need to here, as this is their season on the line. A follow-up attempt almost gonna come through there. Big Guth almost with a massive play. Slays is looking for a bump. This ball's gonna pop up high here. Origin got to make something happen. A bump attempt there, but Virgil, he's been so big on the defensive end, making a nice touch there as the Gladiators looking for the attack there, denied away by Slays. This one popping up high, gonna be sent up. Opportunity here as Anti-So, he booms it a long way towards the backboard. Big Guth gonna make a save here. A minute remaining now. This game is tied. Gladiators, if they can find one more goal, might just take the championship here. Origin desperate to force Game 7, but the Gladiators, they want it here. This one off the backboard, Vokes is going to make a massive save there as Slays. He sets this one up. Brindy now going to pop a touch up in the midfield there. Going to find another one over the top of another defender there. Big Guth to the corner. It's just Slays back. What does Slays have here? Going to pop it over the top, but Virgil is there, able to stop it in the midfield now. Vokes can't quite find that touch. Anti-So going to help him out there. Big Guth sending this one down. Ball popped up high. 30 seconds remaining now. Virgil throwing this one down there. Missed touch comes through. Anti-So got to make a 50. Virgil, another big touch from him. Big Guth, he's trying to send it in. A demo comes through there. Vokes looking to push it out here. Next goal will decide this one here. 10 seconds. This one popped up here. Ball out of the midfield. 50 comes through. Big opportunity for the Gladiators. Looking for the shot there. It's going to ring off the wall. Slays, he's sending it in. Looking for Anti-So for the shot. At 0 seconds, he puts it in to send us to Game 7.
What a play, what a pass from Slays, finding Anti-So, the infield pass, the dynamic offense that I talked about in their timeout, or was hoping that they were going to do in their timeout, comes through, perfectly placed top corner. Anti-So with the clutch gene factor, forcing Game 7. Origin, beautiful play there, Gladiators. Unfortunately, going to have to follow that one to Game 7.
Wow, what a finish right there to game number 6. The 0-second goal to force Game 7. A masterclass right there, and such a close game there, Ventus. It really could have gone either way in that one. I mean, both those teams were going back and forth. It seemed like Gladiators were only a second away from winning the championship, but Origin, they find that clutch goal. They force us to Game 7, and now it all comes down to this, Ventus. One game for a championship.
Honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love Game 7s. It's do or die for both teams. I wouldn't be surprised if Gladiators were to call a timeout here. I know that they didn't call it. They have it saved and banked if they want to, but, you know, they might maybe just talk it out. Like you said, it was a very, very close game. Either side could have taken it. I think that, you know, Origin just had that beautiful passing play in the midfield, and I think that was the difference maker. They finally utilized each other in the midfield. They finally looked each other for a pass, and they instantly score off of it. I mean, the only thing that I could ask from these teams is for a potential overtime here in this Game 7. I think that would just be the icing on the cake.
I mean, with the way these teams have been playing, it's been such a back and forth series. It would not surprise me one bit, but we are in to game number 7 of the Prospect League Grand Finals. Winner is going to become the champions here. Loser is going to have to settle for runner-up here as Origin setting this one up in the midfield. Big opportunity for a first goal here. Antiso throwing this one off the backboard. Is there a follow-up attempt? Slays trying to get to it, but denied away again. The defense of the Gladiators has been big all series long here. Antiso looking to grab this one in the corner, trying to pop it towards the midfield. Gonna take it slow. He's looking for a teammate, trying to drop it down. Looking for a bump though, but Big Guth is gonna find that touch. Able to push it away. Virgil now looking for the shot, but Vokes is right on top of him there. This one pushed off the wall out of the midfield. Slays gonna make that touch. Virgil turning around for it. Has an opportunity at the net. Slays. Not a lot of boost. Vokes double commit. Could be a shot opportunity for the Gladiators. Brindy is gonna be denied away by Antiso. As Origin on the counterattack, this one towards the backboard redirect attempt. Oh my goodness! He almost finds it, but that one rings off the post there. Almost an insane play, but now got to watch out for the counterattack there. It's not going to go on target, but a really close opportunity there, Ventus, and we still stay tied at 0.
Yeah, I mean, a crazy shot there from Antiso. Obviously having all the confidence, but it might be the downfall as Brindy. All he has to do is put on net. Slays, though, gonna be able to get there. Antiso able to get the follow-up save as well. And even though they had a potential counterattack for the Gladiators, they were not able to convert. Origin, the defense holds on, something that has not happened. This is the first time that I've really seen them be able to stave off a counterattack like that in this series. And I mean, how fitting that it's in Game 7. Crazy shots, some crazy plays. Slays a crazy save as well. Gladiators doing all they can. Another save coming up from Virgil. Long, booming, clear. And both these teams trying to get this first goal. This goal, whoever scores first might be the difference maker here. Is, you know, we're about halfway through this game number 7. One goal could make the difference. We have not been able to see either side break through yet. One goal could be the factor.
Yeah, it could be, and one double commit could be detrimental here as a demo is going to open up the space here. This ball is popping up high for the Gladiators. Big attempt there. It's going to be 50'd off the corner. It's rolling down. Vokes going to take control here. He's trying to stay with it. This one going to be popped up high. Big Guth has an opportunity, but going to wait for Slays to just clear it out to him. This one popped up. Big Guth trying to find that 50. Antiso. He's going to send it back down here. Big opportunity. Big miss there. Antiso. He's looking for a teammate, but he's only going to find Big Guth with a big save there. Able to clear it away. Virgil sending it back down to Brindy the Blade. Trying to find that touch. Origin. A little awkward there. Can't quite get it out right away. Antiso going to be 50'd. Vokes going to help him out. Vokes trying to stay with it. Virgil sending it back in here. As these two teams so close, knowing the enormity of this next goal here. A minute 40 remaining here, still tied at 0 in game number 7. Antiso, he's gonna send it down, trying to make something happen here. He's staying up, not a lot of boost, can't quite find that touch. The ball gonna pop off the corner. Slays off the backboard, double tap down. The ball's in front of the net. Can they put it in? No, they're gonna run into each other there. That was a huge opportunity, but Origin couldn't put it through. The Gladiators hold on again, and they're gonna find the clear out here into the corner. This one's dropping down. Big Guth with an opportunity towards the net. A big demo, but a big save on the goal line. Able to lock it down just in time. Origin is still holding strong with the ball still in the midfield. Slays, he's trying to keep it around here, as now we're down to a minute remaining here in game number 7. 0-0. Next goal is the opportunity here for the championship. This ball's dropping down. Big Guth gonna take control. He's gonna get it by Slays. Vokes gonna take an opportunity. He has a net to shoot at, but he can't put it on target. Antiso is gonna put it in there. Vokes dropping it down, but the net is open. Brindy has an opportunity, but not boost to put it in there. That was a chance here. This one now, another opportunity denied away. Origin trying to find the counterattack. They're all up there. They're sending it towards the net. They're double commit from the Gladiators here. As this one now, 30 seconds remaining, still tied at 0. The next goal most certainly gonna decide this championship. As it's sent back down. Ball off the wall there. Dropped out in the midfield. Gladiators trying to get to it. Vokes. This one's going to be blocked up. Big Guth with an opportunity off the backboard. The follow-up attempt for Virgil. No, missed it off the crossbar. There was the counterattack from Origin. They're racing down the pitch. The ball is up in the midfield. This one a little bit too wide, though, as it's in the corner now. Vokes off the corner. Big Guth gonna control it. He's gonna send it up. The Gladiators, can they find something in 0 seconds? It's Virgil towards the net there. Can they put it down out of the midfield? No, it's gonna touch the ground in overtime. Ventus in game 7. 0-0. Next goal wins it all.
Yeah, and I got exactly what I hoped for. I hoped for an overtime. I really wanted it. Both these teams playing phenomenal, not giving a single inch. You saw that mistake there from the Gladiators, a little bit of an open net miss, but they might be trying to make it up here as they look for the demo, but so gonna clear this one out, and Vokes having to get a touch there as last man back. Brendy, shot, gonna try to get this one on target, but that one's saved, but not! It's going to go in, and Gladiators gonna find the back of the net. A perfectly placed shot. I thought the save came through from Slays, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. The ball too quick, still finding its way to the back of the net, and Gladiators are going to take this in a Game 7 overtime.
Oh my goodness, Ventus, what placement on that shot there. Slays was so close to saving it away, but the placement and the power was just enough to win it in overtime. A massive shot there by who else than Brindy the Blade, the veteran of that Gladiators team, longtime Nemesis veteran, gonna get his team a championship in Game 7. And Ventus, what a thrilling series from both those two teams right there.
Yeah, and you know what? Coulson was right. He predicted the Gladiators. I didn't have the faith. I picked Origin. But man, these teams, so many games were neck and neck. I mean, Game 2 was so close. You had that last second goal, I believe. And then Game 7, obviously. Game 6 was such a close game as well. There were so many games that could go either way. Could have changed the entire course of the series. But Gladiators, they held it out. I mean, even though they had that miss at 0 seconds, we would have hoped that they would have been able to put that one away there. But such a great series to end off this night's grand finals. I mean, I'm so excited for the Challenger League, the Rival League, and the Titan League games Wednesday, because let me tell you, we're gonna have so much more action.
Yeah, I mean, if you thought that was crazy, we got 3 more on the line coming at you Wednesday, but a big congratulations there to the Gladiators. They performed exceptional throughout that series, able to battle back from 0-2, bring it all the way back, and win it in Game 7 overtime to take the championship. Big congratulations to them. What a series it was. And we got to give a couple of big shout outs here before we end off tonight's stream. A huge shout out to everyone who ended up subscribing, but especially to our Nemesis Premium subscribers, most certainly our Challenger Plus subscribers, Cortera, Earn, Flame Intruder, Neon, Wiggle, Fenrir, Jax, Parker, and Sado. We appreciate you guys supporting the Discord here. Reminder, if you guys do want to support Nemesis, you can find the subscriptions in the Discord, or feel free to subscribe on Twitch. All the money that you guys donate to the stream or donate goes right back into the league, paying the commentators, paying the streamers for their exceptional work throughout the year. So again, thank you all to everyone for that one. But Ventus, man, what a night. The Gorgons take a dominated one. The Gladiators come back in Game 7 overtime. Any final thoughts before we head off for the night?
Man, I mean, such competitive leagues. I think that obviously there's some changes where we had the reset, you had the re-sign changes, everything. I feel like after every single season in Nemesis, it just gets more and more competitive. You see crazy upsets, you see crazy Game 7s. The playoffs has been absolutely phenomenal. And lucky us, we have one more day of grand finals. We have 3 more matches. I know I have the privilege of casting 2 of those, and I'm so excited. And so I'm ready for all the content. I'm ready to cast, and unfortunately we have to wait till Wednesday for it.
I know. Unfortunately, we do have to wait till Wednesday, but until then, we'll live on in some anticipation here for those 3 matches. We'll be back Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you guys follow the channel if you haven't already. We'll be back then for our last set of grand finals, and then we'll head on to season 14 following that. But we hope to see you guys there, because if this night is anything to tell us, it's going to be a great night on Wednesday, so make sure you guys stick around for that. But that is it for us tonight here. Rockerman Ventus from the booth here. Make sure you guys take care, and we will see you guys on a Wednesday night.
Fading slowly, just our bodies laying side by side, sinking till we're halfway underground. It's not over. life than this? Would you leave it all?